Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your new favorite day of the week. Well, I'm a little bit delayed this one. We had to make sure that everybody's schedules lined up. Of course, it's your straight ripping pro scrim night, normally on Tuesday nights, but we delayed it just one day on Wednesdays. It's hump day, and you're still looking gorgeous as ever, Elamite, even later in the week.
Always a pleasure to be here with you, Tony. The pleasure is all mine, I assure you. And delaying a day, not so bad because of a lot of changes and an potentially upcoming great scrim.
Oh, definitely. And we have two very exciting teams that we're going to watch go at it. And I feel like Ascending Baseline, we've seen them. We've seen them quite a bit now. We've seen them pop off. We've seen some great moments for them. We haven't seen them compete on land. But on the other side of things, I guess I don't know if I want to spoil it for you guys this early, but on the other side of things, I feel like we haven't seen this group come together, at least not in a while, at least with three of these players. And I'm excited to see what they have in store for us. Again, guys, straight ripping pro scrim nights we're doing here at least once a week, normally on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, whatever day. Straight ripping is putting a little bit of money in the pockets of some of our competitors who are already going to be scrimming anyway, so why not put a little bit of money on the line and make it that much more fun? And of course, Super Trombone, I think he agrees. That's a pretty nice 1 month sub there. So clearly showing the support, showing the love. And if you guys can continue to do that throughout the day, fantastic. But even if you don't have the money at the moment, you can support in other ways. Retweets, when we're on socials all day, every day, clips, and even just let you know that we're live with this I was gonna say tournament with this scrim. Hey, retweet, like, share it on socials. That's one of the biggest ways that you can contribute without having to pull any money out of the pockets. Because, man, tax season was rough. Christmas around the corner. I know how it is, man. Pockets. I just paid rent. You know how much my rent is?
Inflation, tariffs, Tony, don't even get me started on this here. This is Halo. This is where we come to get away from all of the nonsense as well, right? So, of course, like we said, you can take a look at some of the highlights going on your screen, some of the players, and similar or matchup as well of what we're going to see here today. Obviously, these two teams have duked it out before. Atlanta was definitely a highly contested series. Teams placed right next to each other as well. So it's been a little bit of a time, I think, teams recovering since Atlanta, but we're seeing everyone get right back into the swing of things.
Yeah, I thought Ascending Baseline were absolutely fantastic in Atlanta. I thought Ryan would just honestly pull back the clock a little bit. I mean, my man literally went back in time and was looking like a prime renegade with a sniper on live fire at one point. It was crazy what we saw, what he was able to do. Fantastic. And even more recently during this DSA tournament, we see him reunite with Chris Common for a bit here. I'm guessing two of his teammates weren't available for this tournament, and they looked extremely good. Meanwhile, I'm gonna be honest with you, only because I've seen Ascending Baseline already and I kind of know what's in store for them and what they have to offer. I'm a little bit more excited about the other side of the team, Envious. Like, I feel like I don't know if they're going by Envy Us. I don't know if they're still going by that. However, 3/4 of that roster was on Envy last year, and you add this new and up-and-coming player in Acid, who's coming out of nowhere from the Latin American region, brought over to NA now multiple times, similar to Tapping Buns, might I say, and you have a dangerous team.
Yeah, so I believe they're going as PAYD now, and they were Team Lethal Fox turning with a little bit of changes that we're seeing as well here. And so both of these teams definitely lined up in position to do well. I'm interested to see if we'll see any other kind of changes or how things will play out, how these teams go, because neither one has had a lot of time to really kind of prep, as we've seen changes here for both.
I mean, also fun. I feel like that. Also, dude, this was crazy. Almost double repulse. But dude, I was casting that in freaking. Dude, I was casting that in Atlanta, and I saw that like for a good 2 minutes. Ryan Noob literally looked like a damn Shotzi on the map. Like with the snipes that you saw on Tower, with the spawn trap, with the repulse, almost sending both players off the map. Guys, you saw that in the montage. Those were all the same life. Like that's what's insane about that. Like when I was casting that, I was freaking out. All of those clips that you just saw, which looked like separate clips of him going off, those were literally all his same one life. that is how crazy he looked to end that game. I think that was actually even to start off our tournament. So it was crazy.
Yeah, Ryan had a lot of great highlight plays and went on many sprees, like you said. I think he was definitely almost the talk of the team. And in many cases, him and Tapping definitely stole the show or pulled even more than their own weight in many cases with some of those sprees that we saw. Another interesting or cool factor is that they were doing that against everybody, right? They took a game off Shopify, if I'm not mistaken, and Ryan, I think, had a big kind of role to play in some of those wins as well. So to see this team come together and this kind of hybrid style from these two teams, especially with the Ryan New brain in control of how we'll see the in-game and IGL role play out with some new kind of shooters at his disposal. So here, so pretty excited to see how this game will work out.
Absolutely, and also excited to see Duck Master Lab coming in with a 3-month resub. Appreciate you, Duck, and also appreciate maybe another underlying story that maybe something just to look out for if you guys are interested in it, because we know we love storylines. We're commentators, analysts. We love the storylines, and I feel like one has to be looking at both tapping buttons and acid. We have two players coming from the Latin American region. Now, again, multiple times. Obviously, tapping buttons a little bit more because he goes back since Halo 5. Were brought over to the North American region, or what we call North American region, to compete with some of our best players in the US. And now you're seeing the exact same thing coming from Acid. Like, how many times this year have we talked about Acid teaming with some of the best players that we have here in the US? And we've seen them team with the likes of the Sabs, we've seen them team like the likes of the Envoys, and now this, I guess, not envious roster. We're going by envious and DSA, but this not envious roster. I mean, there's a lot of expectations. This team, as a trio, along with Precision, has made it deep into tournaments, has qualified for world championships, have made it deep in a bracket in a world championship. And now you're Acid, you're replacing Precision, who's damn near unreplaceable, but you're on a similar roster. So I would imagine there's going to be similar expectations out of you and this team.
Yeah, but we talk about breakout players for this year, I'd say, which is kind of an interesting thing to talk about. Not that any of these players would be breakout, because like you said, they've all had a lot of success. They've been out here in discussions in previous titles as well. But I would say that Acid, with a large part in regards to his, especially his bandit and just accuracy overall, a few of his sprint strafes that he had, and I think both some of the qualifiers and at the actual lands as well, really kind of were highlights and stole the show and some of the discussion in some of the series that we saw him perform those in, and his success that he had in the 2v2s as well. Um, they were very close to taking down Cycle and Last Shot in the qualifier as well. So we'll see how that goes on LAN. But like we said, we've already seen him perform well on LAN. I think he kind of comes out very much so as like another type of descendant type player and somebody who's very forward on the map and gonna always be winning their pivs. So definitely interested to see, like, it's definitely hard to fill Precision's shoes, like you mentioned. Somebody who has all those accolades plus his in-game awareness, shot, and everything else involved. I'd say him and Acid have definitely a much kind of different play style though as well. So not saying it won't work out. Who knows, could even work out better. With Acid given this opportunity here. So we'll see kind of how that'll play a factor here, because it'll definitely be a little bit different for all the players.
I find them to be the most interesting piece, is the piece that I just don't know as much about. Like, I've been watching him for a very long time, even since the Halo 5 days. We've known of Acid. He was competing along the top teams in Latin America for a very long time. But mostly in Halo Infinite, he spent most of that time at the open bracket. And when I've been working on the HCS desk, like, I haven't got the chance to watch that much of the open bracket. So the games I saw, it's like, oh yeah, he's popping off. But it's like, okay, well, it's hard to evaluate talent if you're not watching consistently what he's doing in the open bracket. I've only seen once or twice, like, oh, he made it out, fantastic. But to see him be that, I guess, that shining star player, because when you bring a player like him onto a roster, you don't bring them to be a role player. You say, no, you have the talent to pop off and really be a slayer and a playmaker for a squad. And that's what we need you to do. And the crazy part is he's answered it. time and time again, we talk about it in the same light as, you mentioned, like the likes of a Descendant, the likes of even the tapping buttons as well. Players that you lean on to say, hey, we need a pop off game. We need somebody to win a 1v2 in the clutch out of nowhere. I'm looking at you, brother.
His shock rifle as well. I think he's had a lot of really nice plays. I think he's developed as a player a lot, both him and Descendant as well. So it's cool to see them together here because, I think Descendant always stood out as somebody with raw talent, but maybe played a little bit too fast, got himself in vulnerable positions at times. What may have played a role into some of the decision making around the Luminon changes, but which we've seen them have so much success with Snakebite as well. But now Descendant having another opportunity and someone else who kind of fits into his play style rather than him trying to conform to a different team's play style, right? It gives, I think, a little bit more flexibility to everyone involved as well, and something that might take some of the responsibility and kind of teamwork aspect and a lot more individual freedom to move around the map here with an Acid and Descendant kind of duo together.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to apologize. We're still waiting for the games to get. Contrary to popular belief, us casters, we don't have a button here that starts the game. Like, we're not just yapping for no reason. I promise you, we want to get into the game just as much as you guys do. We have a little bit of technical difficulties here, but once we get into the lobby, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Again, ascending baseline going up against PAYD, and honestly, both of these squads trying to get paid because STR8 RIPPIN not only coming out of nowhere and has been one of my favorite orgs that we've seen in a while, I mean, the history that STR8 RIPPIN has, but also they're putting money in the pockets of whoever, quote unquote, wins this scrim by the time things are over. So ascending baseline PAYD finally getting into a lobby in action. Jackson finally getting his hands on a bit of a camouflage.
Ooh, Tapping almost took him down and picked up a double there, but Jackson will escape. Tapping does grab himself a trade, and Ryan Noob with the moves, breaks some ankles, wins the piv onto the player with camo, and that'll completely change the situation here for PAYD.
Down to one shot here, making sure that nobody pushes from that bad side, and has a teammate with them, so deciding to get aggressive through the gold side of the map. Better watch out, the ninjas are out, and somehow Suspector's the one who gets awarded a ninja medal, despite the fact that Super CC had his head jumped over. Somehow, through the chaos, Piggy emerges as the only player alive over toward the back gold side, and Ryan Noob wants that ball, but he needs to wait for his teammates to come up.
That was an interesting play ball by Descendant. I thought they might try to use their numbers advantage to kill that player in needles, but they elect to rotate the ball, let everyone on ascending baseline spawn over there towards A, and now pushing back in here on the map.
Acid back in the action here. Big shots coming out of Descendant, turns that into a double kill, trades out his life, and Acid says thank you for all this ball time we're able to accumulate because of it. Meanwhile, Super CC and Piggy decided to dance over on the mid-map. Super CC gonna leave Piggy alone to try to attack the ball, but the moment he does, it's Action Jackson that gets involved. Big damage out of him. The Acid has to play this ball off the map and just continue to put down slays, and luckily he did because tapping buttons clears things out.
And as we watch Tapping pushing towards long haul, he's got a teammate with him. They know there's a player here towards C. A couple grenades come in, gets a lot of damage down, but Tapping, nice grenade, should be able to clean this one up. Maybe grab himself a second, but Jackson, he will trade that out.
Big time back-to-back kills, make it 4 down. Go PAYD, ascending baseline. Tired of going down early here in this game. 33 points so far for PAYD, and ascending baseline now daring PAYD to come off a spawn and cross the line, looking to defend the camouflage. Meanwhile, Acid having no idea the Suspector's right behind him. Ryan Noob chasing down the player while also getting chased down himself. It looks like a kill does go down. It was Suspector with a 5-shot, Ryan Noob with the big time damage, but PAYD are finding bodies. Ryan Noob finally able to neutralize an event and take one of his own before getting back smacked courtesy of Descendant.
Yeah, tries to make a sneaky move, but Descendant playing too aggressive, reads that one perfectly, gets a quick cleanup, and now helps the ball carrier escape out here through gold pipes. No aggression though. They've got a pretty good setup with Piggy being top glass. They're just playing the setup, playing the crosses here. Piggy has camo as well, was able to get a kill, stay alive. They need to wait for Ryan Noob to spawn, but as another player goes down, this is a very staggered life. and this can be a lot of extra ball time.
60 points so far being earned by PAYD. Meanwhile, you see the cross-map players tapping buttons and Super CC trying to cross over toward the A side. They feel stuck in the tower. They break out, and Suspector catches Piggy off guard over toward the low gold side. And finally starting to see Slays start to favor the wave of sending baseline. PAYD answer back with 2 big kills of their own, and tapping buttons somehow infiltrates the back gold side, which is huge because Jackson wanted some free time. Ain't nothing free when tapping buttons is involved.
Yeah, tapping nowhere to go, though, does finally get cleaned up. That puts 2 down, 3 down for PAYD. So tapping trades his life in a great way. Takes out the ball carrier, helps Super CC grab that new ball, and with Grapple Sniper, he leaves the ball, goes for the kill, cleans up 1, but will trade out again.
I will say I'm loving the war that we are seeing right now between both PAYD and Ascending Baseline. Here in the early game number 1, both of these teams clearly emptying the tank right now and putting on an absolute show. And mind you, it's literally only game number 1. Piggy got to try to grapple the ball, but ends up just slightly missing, but grapples himself into some action. We know Piggy loves him some action. Puts out some max damage. Super CC finds the clean up, and shaky shots to get that headshot means Acid not only gets a kill, but turns it right around into a double. Big kills coming out of Acid.
And that's why Acid's here, right? His long range and up close bandit shots so dangerous. Rhino goes for the challenge, but won't be able to take that one. Gets cleaned up. Nice shot by Acid here. He moves his way into gold, goes for a little bit of sprint strafe. Does get another trade, but that allows Super CC now to scoop up the camo and get away.
Still on board with Super CC. Camouflage is big, especially when playing near the ball carrier. Wants to try to bait him out. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Acid does rip a kill over towards Ryan Noob, but PAYD still slow to activate that on that, and because of that, Ascending Baseline getting a whole lot of time, but the action goes down almost immediately. Before you know it, 3 down go Ascending Baseline, and PAYD immediately take control.
Yeah, some sort of insta-splode, maybe almost look like a nuke at the same time. On the tapping buttons, and gold pipes gets cleaned up immediately. Descendant has the ball. You've got PAYD coming very close to ending this round here. Last push by Ryan Noob and crew. They've got a player close, but the ball rotation's coming in also with only a few seconds to work with. I think they're going to be able to stop it here. Sure enough, they do. Now we'll see what Ascending Baseline has in store.
95 points here. Can Ascending Baseline hold the line and play what we often call, perfect Halo? Because that's what's needed right now to mount the comeback. But 60 seconds so far for Ascending Baseline. A Super Suspector finds the backside of 1. Early nade goes down. No insta-explode just yet, but the damage keeps Piggy back, and the ball ends up out of the hands of Ascending Baseline, which is not good because Acid sneaks on in. And honestly, that might be all she wrote. 1 kill is all they needed.
Yeah, you see Suspector, he tried to get back in towards A, but everyone from PAYD came off spawn in A, right where the ball was sitting. With only 5 seconds to be played there, with a tough position to make anything happen. Does trade out 1 kill, but that was all she wrote here for round 1.
Take a look at the stats right now. Acid 13-9, 6 assists, 16 seconds of ball time, and now you allow the young star to be able to get himself a camouflage. Big time damage on Suspector. Teammates should be able to clean that up, no problem. That's 2 immediately down. The other 2 Ascending Baseline trying to find the answer. The only thing they'll find is PAYD in their face.
Rhino, I think, somehow stayed alive here. Finally gets cleaned up. Acid had shot him and kept him 1 shot there. Does have camo now still to work with, and quite a few seconds as well. A quick aggressive push comes in. The accident does allow his life to get traded out. Ball is rotating though, 2v2 scenario, but Acid with camo is on the hunt.
This what makes camouflage just so dangerous. All the information that you're able to gather, and knowledge truly is power. When you turn that into a triple kill, Acid melting through Ascending Baseline, wanted the overkill, but you know what? He's not even greedy. Knows his teammates is there. Super CC goes down, and big plays out of Acid with the camouflage leads to some big time.
I actually really like that too. While it would have been fun to go for that overkill, I almost wish he did. At the same time, just staggering that player's life before the spawners push again. Does allow them to potentially get a bigger chunk of time. It is some nice pushes, though, coming in from ascending baseline as Ryan does what he can, has a shroud, tries to play around grenades, but does get cleaned up.
Jackson on screen right now wants to deny ball from Suspector, but I wonder if he knew that Super CC was also there. Jingle peek. Too strong, though. Jackson with the win. Suspector with the ball rotation through the long haul side. Jackson needs to catch up, but just a little bit too far behind. Good damage, but ball still belongs to ascending baseline.
Yeah, trying to cut down on this early lead that PAYD had. Of course, looking to send this into round 3 as well. Ryan Noob on a quick rotation, throws the ball into A, but doubles back to gold. I do like this play here. Recognizes that the cut and angles from PAYD are coming in too quickly. Somehow evades danger as 3 players come in from all angles. That does give PAYD the ball once again, but it gives now ascending baseline a really good opportunity to make a break.
29-9 advantage here for PAYD. Both teams go half down, so next slay gonna be so important. Ryan Noob just gets his shields back. Now attacks from the lower side. Damage onto both players, but is it enough? Apparently it is. One does come in. Super CC awarded the kill for that one, and Piggy forced back just a moment. And mind you, his team is 3 down. What can he do by himself? Well, he can get into a fight with tapping buttons. Doesn't mean you're gonna win it.
Yeah, Suspector accumulating some time now. The previous play by Ryan, you can see how much time he took, how many times he just rotated around the map, avoiding danger, making sure to live. And I'd say at that last scenario, too, that amount of damage was definitely a great trade. He was also stuck between a rock and a hard place with players spawning behind him. So definitely making some really good heads-up plays and giving his team a chance to get right back in this.
Couple points between them. Ball forced off of the map here. Ryan Noob and the rest of ascending baseline find themselves over towards the gold and the glass side of the map already, but can they stay there? Can they stay alive? Apparently not when Descendant is hunting it down like this. Don't. He almost did it.
Super CC's opportunity to try to make something happen. Can't find the headshot as Jackson cleans that up. Tapping also gets cleaned here as they spot both last players here rotating over towards gold. See if they like to drop the ball or rotate it away. Here comes Piggy with the rotate. Starting to pig up another big lead here by Piggy. See Platt descending, comes off spawn, grabs himself one and flies into control. They might be able to find another, but sure enough, ascending baseline halts this push.
Elon, like, we just appreciate right now. I just took a look at the scoreboard. Acid is 27-14. Make it 28. That's a 2.0 KDA. Not even talking about his assist, as he does end up going down for the 15th time only this game. I mean, at this point, we got to hop on board with Acid a little bit here and find out, because he's putting up a sneaky 30 bomb right now. Meanwhile, Suspector loud and proud with that sprint strafe, and maybe ascending baseline, able to tie things up. PAYD needs to get this ball out of their hands.
Yeah, Acid is just head and shoulders above the rest of the lobby right now in overall slays, but does running the tapping, who does give him a perfect as well. Camo coming up in 5 seconds. You have Shroud here spawned up also with a battle going on in control. Tapping looking, or Super CC now looking to win another battle. Alexa back down, does get cleaned up by Descendant. Great aggressive push here, but Piggy was able to secure the camo. Tapping takes out the ball carrier, but only in a trade. And now once again, PAYD going to be able to rotate this ball away from the spawners of ascending baseline.
Easy kill coming from Piggy. Wants to turn it into a bit more. You still have multiple members of ascending baseline that are looking to force him out, and really more important, looking to spot him with the camo. It's easier said than done as he jukes out Super CC just a bit. A trade, maybe not exactly what he's looking for, and somehow Acid the one who has the ball.
I mean, yeah, with camo, you'll take the trade, but PAYD is still here, still getting time. One push left now for ascending baseline. As players start coming in, I don't think the damage is working out very well for them to get cleaned up. And with only 10 left to go, I think that is all she wrote.
A hard-fought battle here in game number 1, and although PAYD are going to come out with a 2-0 victory, the fact that ascending baseline were able to push them so many times and keeps things this close lets you know how evenly matched these two are in the early game. Oddball will belong to PAYD, but I don't know if we can say the same for the rest of the games. Ascending baseline look tough and look formidable.
Yeah, but Acid definitely fitting in here well. As you can see, just being able to move around the map and doing whatever he wants to do. Um, Huge game, definitely. Pretty efficient games as well from Paid. Not that Acid didn't always fit in well and has been with these guys, but definitely just popping off and like we said, being one of the rising stars here that we've seen. This whole roster really just clicked so well together and has faced a lot of adversity with some of the changes that we had. Uh, but obviously, right back where they left off um, here as we go into game number 2.
Big time damage across the board there. I didn't get the chance to see how much ball time Acid had, but honestly, I know it was respectable. So not only was he doing it in the kills department, but also unselfishly doing it in the objective time as well. You imagine take the oddball out of his hands for as much as he had it, and maybe that 28 kills is now 35. Maybe quite near 40 bond. It really. I feel like the 28 kills almost doesn't even tell the full story on how much influence Acid had, at least in the Slays department, because I feel like he was also playing the objective as well going into our game number 2. And I will be honest, I should have the map layout in front of me. I don't right now. But either way, what and let's say actually, you know what? Production right on it. Capture the flag gonna be our map number. Gonna be our game mode for game number 2.
Origin here, of course. Let's see. If you take a look at these squads, I mean, this would be one where initially I would go with Paid. Like, again, one that fits really well to the players like Acid that want to play forward on the map, that'll fly into a base with power weapons here and constantly be super aware of where the spawners are coming and being able to pick off 1 or 2 on some of these flag runs. And this is notoriously one of those games that fall into the realm of discussion. Is it 3 caps enough or should it be 5? We'll see if this is one of those games.
Yeah, either way, it's going to be an exciting one here, and I am right with you. It's an interesting one, and I guess this could be an example of why some people think this should be at 5 caps, but both teams evenly matched, fighting early, and Ryan Noob gets himself a triple. Ryan Noob nerds, and Ryan Noob slays as well. Flag being about to be started. Acid is there. He was there.
Oh, we talk about Acid's shot, but Acid runs into Ryan, who walks away with that one. I wouldn't say it was particularly pretty for anyone, but hey, a kill is a kill at the end of the day. Ryan, 4 to start the game. Suspector found himself sniper, connects on a headshot and a body shot. Last 2 players alive. They spot out one bottom middle, but he Descendant had rockets and does trade out his life.
Sniped along in the hands of Yaxin. Yaxin does somehow take down Super CC from the grave as we switch back over to Acid. Yet to find a first kill just yet, but from the basement to the window side and now in the back base of Ascending Baseline. And he'll have to respect his positioning, and Super CC doesn't respect anybody. Cross maps him big, and it's a huge play because now look at Spectre. Look at Ryan, look at their position, look at Ascending Baseline. Right off of that kill, they are already in the base of Paid.
Yeah, great play by Super CC to win that pid, take the reach out as well, a high risk, high reward type play that gave Ascending Baseline the opportunity to get back into Paid's base. Actually finds himself another win, and they have enough damage to actually get the flag out of the base as Ryan Noob starts moving this one. Gets a melee, so Super CC with yet another cleanup. Now he's got 4 on the board here. Grabbing flag, moves past the 50-yard line.
Tapping about the cross map shots. His long range shot is always on point. Doesn't have to fight the second player over towards the base. That player is done for, and Ascending Baseline, the first ones to get a capture here in what feels like already a must-win situation. Paid already have momentum, and Ascending Baseline, they want it back.
Yeah, we'll see what happens though. Super CC finds himself in a tough position as Yaxin is aggressively trying to clean him up, but somehow without any help, he might get cleaned up himself. Sure enough, he does. Super CC making incredible plays, at least buying enough time. Rockets are up on the map as well, with Sniper getting ready to spawn in 10 seconds. I think both flags also pulled.
Sniper about to be up. Jackson about to get right under his sending baseline, and he has rockets too. So the fact he's able to be that sneaky, and he has rockets to his name at the moment here, slides his way over toward the trenches, recognizes that he needs to be this forward player. And he's gonna trust his teammates to run that flag and work on the smarters. They were momentarily 4 down, and it's Jackson trying to keep them that way.
Yeah, I think Jackson's talking about not just one cap, but he's thinking 2 at this point as he drops that one, doubles back into the base, gets a couple kills, guarantees the first cap, but then jumps off the map.
Time for one apiece here. Acid playing the cover here and waiting for his right time to strike and just barely misses out on that shot. Flag started, but is he able to end it? Super CC across the map, not able to connect on the headshot. Acid spots Ryan, but not able to find the angle that he wants. Luckily, Piggy has a double. Half the sending baseline go down because of it. This immediately initiates him to be able to pull this flag silver to silver. Lines up one, the second goes down, and this flag is already just about home, but I'm not sure ascending baseline are going to be able to catch up to it. 2-1 game lead in favor of PAYD.
Yeah, you can tell ascending baseline, they had in mind what they wanted to do, but I think PAYD had it sniffed out as the aggression comes through, and with the snipe shots as well, they easily clean up those few kills, grab that flag, almost, or actually were in position to pull the third and final flag cap if they could make it work, but as 3 go down, make it 4 with Piggy being the first spawner here. This might be a counter cap for now for ascending baseline.
Super CC finds a couple of shots over toward the backside of both Descendant and Jackson, who are trying to rotate and overextend over toward the base because Suspector already has this flag through the elbow side over towards the base, and just like that, this game is tied up at 2 apiece, and as we already talked about, it's up to 3, so next cap wins it. And man, he wants to take that back smack back. Missing out on that back smack, just a bit unfortunate. Will it cost him?
Yeah, that might have been game, set, match if he hit that falling back smack onto the player, but Super CC does get cleaned up. 2 players here in a battle between each other. Suspector with great movement, great shots, wins that, secures sniper side of the map, and top catwalk for his team is in another engagement, grabs himself another kill in the kill feed. He's got a player coming through, does clean him up, and Rhino will find that one with a rocket. He's got last 2 players alive, 1 looking for the kill on him right now, does find it. Great challenge by Piggy. Does get out of harm's way, but is looking for a reach out here towards Snipe, where he might run into now 3 players.
Tied up at 2 apiece here on the pit, and giving up rockets usually could be game losing if you're PAYD, but PAYD somehow able to find the kill onto Ryan. The rockets are wasted, and now it's the sniper, which becomes the focus of the fight here. Big shots coming out of Acid, turns that into a triple. Tapping is in his face here. Not only does he want the over, but he wants the sniper as well. 4 go down courtesy of Acid, and because of that, sniper changes hands, and he's not done just yet. More damage goes down. That's going to be assist from him. Now the bait and switch coming in over towards the window side. Everybody from ascending baseline is staggered, and it's because of the man on screen right now. He started off game number 2 slowly, but that one play might have been the one that matters.
Oh, this is looking really bad for a second here, but 2 members from PAYD go down. Make it 3 and maybe 4 as Piggy's in an engagement over here with Tapping. Does trade out his life, but now we'll see what ascending baseline has in store as it's their turn to put some pressure now here into PAYD's base. Great plays overall, though, as that was a very dangerous moment here.
It's not done just yet. Suspector deep in the base, though, of PAYD. 3 down, go PAYD. So all that work that Acid and PAYD were able to do might be for nothing here, as Acid the first one to come up, but also the first one to get sent back to the respawn screen. Piggy, no ways to cross map here on Super CC and the flag runner. Piggy goes down, there's nobody here, and all of that effort, all of the plays being made, and ascending baseline just needed 1 counter cap in order to tie up the series.
That's probably one we should have called a listen-in for, Tony, because I couldn't even imagine what the comms were like. The amount of, oh, we lost, oh, I got him, and just constant back and forth returns. I mean, taking a look at the stats here. Look at Piggy, 11-15, but 16 assists, more assists than the rest of his teammates combined here. Suspector doing what he can as well to match that assist column, but just great overall teamwork. Ryan dropping 18, top frag in the lobby here. Ascending baseline was making it. Well, I mean, keep in mind is PAYD was up 2-1. Acid got that triple, and I think got 2 more kills after that. They had the flag pulled. I mean, it was almost over right then in a 3-1. But then Ascending baseline here really battled back hard in order to get that. Especially Ryan, who must have been going huge because I don't think he had that kind of kills prior to that. He definitely kind of picked up a lot of those towards the end of the game, I believe.
Yeah, to be staggered the way that Ascending baseline was, I mean, honestly, courtesy of Acid and what he did toward that end game, and somehow be able to weather the storm, recover, and turn that into a counter cap. I mean, those are the plays that I feel like me as an amateur player, like I couldn't even imagine making as a team. Like, think about how many times you're playing matchmaking. One double kill happens, and your teammates are already sighing. They're already throwing mentally. It's that serious. But at the professional level, at this level, you weather the storm, you get through it, and somehow you turn, lemons into margaritas. That's what Ascending baseline did, and masterfully played, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, that was a game that's not over till it's over, because if anyone on that team had given up in any one of those moments that they found themselves down 2-1 with flag out of the base, game probably definitely would have been over then. So great job by Ascending baseline, battling back in Origin CTF to tie up this series 1-1.
4-1 lead in favor of Ascending baseline. And are we playing a little bit of Slayers? Okay. Sprinkled in a little bit of Slayer action, and I ain't never mad at that. Some people, when you talk about, they're not a fan of Slayers, they hate Slayers. I am a fan of Slayers, and back-smack. Not going to exactly connect, but Ryan who somehow still getting the kill on that. 1 extra damage onto Acid, but ends up into a bit of a PAYD sandwich as he finds himself in between both Acid and another PAYD player over on the blue side. Spawning up right now. Are Ascending baseline? Are they able to survive? Because Acid is here and he wants to fight.
Finds himself 1. Make it 2 as he gets a kill on a tapping as well. He's got 5 kills for his team. Doing absolute work. 5 of 8 to make that 10 now here for PAYD. And in your comments or in regards to the Slayers, Tony, I think, a lot of teams don't like playing Slayers, especially in Scrims, but I think that's just because there's no money on the line. But in straight Scrims, there's money on the line here. So Team Slayers take on a whole new meaning.
We straight scrimming up in here, guys, and so we're PAYD and Ascending baseline. 11-10 advantage in favor of PAYD at the moment here. Descended wanting to back up Jackson, who wants to try to pinch over from both sides along with Jackson and Acid. I love that, attacking from both sides, giving them a 2-kill advantage. But the moment he tries to attack Ryan Noob, it looks like it was Super CC that gets involved all the way from across the map.
Yeah, does get involved here. Ryan looking for a few kills himself. Acid's moved up here to 6 now, as we're once again all tied up in this game. Tapping cleans up 1. The whole collapse comes in now for Ascending baseline. PAYD trying to answer back with some players in pretty good positions out in the middle of the map, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough if the rest of Ascending baseline gets involved here. Ryan almost finds himself 1, but wisely manages to get away and survive. Camo just spawned. Got PAYD and players looking from some pretty good angles, but Tapping and Super CC do manage to trade enough damage back that allows Tapping to get away with Camo now. And Ascending baseline was once tied 13-13, but have now bounced back in a big way.
20-15 is the advantage here. Tapping Buns has that camouflage, and Suspector not able to win the 1v1 on Jackson, and Tapping Buns doesn't want to overcommit and over toward that gunfight, so he backs down just for a moment. Finds Piggy on the rotation. Big kill onto him. Ryan Noob wins his 1v1, and just like that, Ascending baseline holding on to a 5-kill advantage.
Yeah, that keeps moving up here now as Tapping cleans himself up a couple of kills with Camo. Will be able to play aggressively out here on the map and not have to worry about his shields. They do find the rest of PAYD members here now over towards Blue and Flowers. Tapping will get cleaned up, but get some good damage down. Not enough, though. Looks like somebody had spawned out and did some good damage behind the members of AB here. but once again, they still find themselves up by 6.
Cross map shots here for Acid. Looking to try to set up Descendant on that push. See Descendant starting to creep over toward the poster stairs with an Acid distraction, but Descendant not able to push through the nades, forcing him back, forcing him out. Target prioritization looking very good as not only puts Super CC down to 1 shot, but gets the cleanup kill onto Ryan with tapping Buds, who might have been, I don't know, the last one alive or the first one to spawn. Either way, he's already in a fight, and Auto Descendant goes down. Of course, Piggy is there for the cleanup.
Yeah, make that a 3-kill game. PAYD starting to ice up, bring this one back once again. Find a couple players out here towards bottom middle, not aware of where the damage is coming from. Doing what he can to try to survive, but tapping does get the cleanup and manage to escape no shields. Suspector, great piv there, finds just the perfect angle to get his head behind the wall and come away with that piv win to keep Ascending Baseline now in the lead.
31-28, Suspector with the win. Down to 1 shot, but not going to get cleaned up here. Teammates do end up going down eventually, but right before he gets his shields back, it's PAYD that are already in the fight. Tied up once again, and his camouflage is so important. Acid knows what's on the line, grabs a hold of it immediately, and takes that over toward the high snipe side. 3 members, now 4 of Ascending Baseline. This is make or break. This can either win you the game will become backbreaking, and he takes down at least 1 before getting back smacked. Can his teammates capitalize on it? Yes, they can. 3 down, go Ascending Baseline.
You do have PAYD now take the lead, and Acid thought he could get, I think he thought he could get the kill and get out, but misses the first melee and gets cleaned up. Probably could have gone even better for them. Actually, probably hoping it would have, as now Ascending Baseline battling back once again. Great bait and switch here now from tapping Suspector. Find themselves a kill on Descendant with Piggy trapped now in loop. Nice cleanup here from Suspector, and they have some staggered lives now and some good damage out on the map. The rest of the team can play aggressive. They may be able to pull ahead once again.
Once again, another important resource about to hit the map of resource, excuse me, it's the shock rifle, and both Tapping Buns and Suspector have it in their sights. I'm sure it's Acid and PAYD using it as a bit of bait, but not able to take down Tapping Buns just yet, but Tapping has to commit. Big damage. Can the cleanups go down? At least 1 does, but Piggy survives, thrives, and gets away with the shock.
Wow, that could have gone any number of different ways and didn't go horribly, but didn't go as well as definitely Ascending Baseline was hoping. Now as Piggy gets a sniper, trying to get out, doesn't find the angle, tapping gets the cleanup, finds the shock now once again. Lead in the favor of PAYD, but trades going down left and right, still very mixy game.
Super CC able to get away with the shock. Ryan Noob somehow takes himself out on that one, but that's a kill that actually doesn't go the way of PAYD. So is that not the worst thing in the world? Because PAYD already have an advantage toward the end game. You deny them a kill, but it looks like apparently PAYD will not be denied. They're going for yet another one, making 47, looking for the final 3. And as they get their shields back, it's the 48 kill. Just 2 more. Ascending Baseline, you're in trouble.
I'm pretty sure 2 players, enemy players, ran past each other on driveway, and I think almost just didn't even notice the scenario. It happened so quickly, I'm not sure though. But either way, now 47-48 in the game. It looked almost all but over here, but Ascending Baseline making a final stand, trying to hold the middle of the map. Super CC, super vulnerable. But Grind will be able to get camo and get away, but Suspector gets cleaned up too quickly. I was just about to say, getting camo is one thing, but everyone is so in the middle of the map, and members of PAYD are going to be spawning and peeking here in a moment. Just a little bit too little too late. That final push over towards Yard definitely could have gone a number of different ways as well. That game was neck and neck all the way down to the end. And taking a look at the stats, speaking of our LATAM presence that we have, Tapping and Acid both going huge for their respective rosters here at 19 kills apiece.
Yeah, between the both of them, what is that? That's like 38 kills and 17 assists. That's it's a pretty damn good game coming out of both of them, but ultimately it would be PAYD that come out on top after that one. Game number 2 didn't exactly go PAYD's way, and maybe largely because Acid had a very, very slow start. I think he started off maybe 0-4 in that game and didn't heat up until like literally the tail end of things. Well, this game from start to finish, he was definitely a monster in the damage department. In fact, almost putting up 5k damage in a Slayer, which is quite impressive if you ask me. As we go into yet another game, it is PAYD that are up 2-1 in the series and trying to get paid in your straight ripping pro scrim night.
As we take a look, next game type is going to be Lattice King. And, taking a look at the stats or thinking of the stats from that game, damage taken as well. I think Tapping had 5k damage taken. So Acid was top of the leaderboard on damage dealt. Tapping top of the leaderboard damage taken. But he had like 1,000, 1,500 more than some of his teammates. So to be able to still frag out and live and be able to take kind of that kind of damage and live, definitely playing his life really well. So Lattice King of the Hill. How do you think this one's going, Tony?
When I look at Lattice, I don't like PAYD on Lattice. I'll be honest with you, and I don't know if I'm in love with ascending baseline on it either, without having the stats in front of me. But I feel like if I had to go with a team, I think ascending baseline bounce back and tie up the series. I like them more on Lattice, even not quite King of the Hill, just the map in general. And Piggy just dropped a triple.
Yeah, and speaking of what you like, I like what we see here from PAYD and Trippy is Piggy with the triple and 4 dead for ascending baseline, no trades. That's going to give Payday everything that they want on the map, including the positioning. We'll see what ascending baseline has in store to try to break out of this, because this is not where you want to find yourself.
Woo! In the sight of Descendant, that's not where you want to find yourself as well. And Suspector going to find that one out the hard way as he's still holding on to the snipe and waiting for Tapping Buds to just peek. All he needs is an inch, and ultimately Descendant will take a mile, and it's PAYD that are almost done with this hill number 1. And Ryan, who tired of the game, trying to force Descendant out. The movement looking good, the shot not quite able to connect.
I thought that hill was all but secured here. The ascending baseline looks like they will go ahead and break through. Get that cleanup on this Descendant with Sniper also here. So you can see Ryan doing what he can in this game. He's got 4. 2 of his teammates yet to find one. Tapping, though, decides to answer back right there and grabs himself 2, make that 3 with a disgusting snipe thrust kill now onto Piggy as well. What we saw with Piggy's triple to start this game got PAYD almost 90% or more of this hill captured, but it's not how you start, it's how you finish, and Tapping's triple answers and puts ascending baseline back into scoring position.
Tapping Buns absolutely obliterating PAYD right there with that sniper, and because of that ascending baseline right back in this hill. This should have been a guaranteed hill for PAYD, and now they're struggling to find their kills. They're struggling to stay alive. Ascending baseline commit highway robbery in that hill number 1, and Tapping Buns, well, he's the one that's taking most of the charges.
Yeah, that was a beautiful play by Tapping. Exactly what the doctor ordered when they needed it to actually get that win. All that hard work from PAYD and nothing to show from that first hill here. A couple nice kills come in from Suspector. You do have ascending baseline getting early time as well onto this red hill. What we talked about before, especially with that first hill and what we just saw out of PAYD. Best to just take your time and make sure you get a good setup and not force anything, because it can go really bad really quickly.
Yeah, this is when your mental is going to be tested here, and PAYD. I mean, coming off of that, when you think that hill belongs to you, ascending baseline, steal it away, but are you able to bounce back is the question. And so far, they're able to do so. Momentary 3 down, Piggy already deep in their base, but it looks like Super CC and friends actually spawning over toward the ice side, getting early access towards the hill, but being sent right back to the respawn screen as PAYD continue to score.
Yeah, great positioning by Acid here. He's going to look for an early pick, and if he finds it here, that might be exactly what PAYD needs to lock this one down, get some good damage onto 2 players, finds himself 1 kill. That's going to be it for hill number 2. Tie up game number now 4. Back to 1 apiece. Acid just hitting everything as we jinx it, and he misses the final 2, but still has a thrust to work with. And now we see PAYD once again in early scoring position.
I mean, this S7 has been blessed right now. Anybody who gets their hands on it is just going off. Or maybe that's just the level of competition that we are in here in year 5 of competitive Halo. As tied up at 1 apiece. Suspector stepping on the hill momentarily, trying to guarantee those kills, and able to do so. And 3 down now, and staggered or paid. But Acid sneaks through. How important is he going to be in this engagement? Very important, because he's the one that gets the kill over towards the backside to open things up, creates a hole and an opportunity for them to play through it. And just like that, Acid, he makes a great life out of that.
Yeah, he snuck through and definitely broke the early setup. Gets that first pick, and definitely the most important pick in most cases here, just taking off that much pressure from the rest of your teammates, being able to try to push across the map here. Paid back to scoring, or briefly was scoring here, as they've got this hill over halfway done. But ascending baseline, they're not done quite yet. Should have at least one more opportunity on this hill.
Suspector all the way over toward the base here. Jackson goes down courtesy of Suspector, and Super CC wins that fight. And once again, ascending baseline, setup and scoring.
Yeah, it was a scary moment here. That I'd say is a pretty big pivotal battle to be won, and one that could have easily gone in Payd's favor. But great shots coming out of the rest of ascending baseline. 3 go dead once again, though, and I think that's going to be it for the hill. No opportunity left here with such little time. Get ready to play for next.
2-1 lead going into this hill number 4, and it spawns over towards that mid-side catwalk, and we're constantly talking about how tough it is to capture a hill over on the long cat. Well, Payd get a nice little boost, or a nice little head start over towards this hill, while Piggy cross-map is Suspector, and Suspector goes right back at him with the help of Ryan Newman. Now it might just be a little bit of a 2v3, as Payd are still in the blue side of the base, and Ryan Newman wants them out.
Lots of trades, melees coming in left and right. 3 dead for Payd. 3 minutes on the clock still, as QT is now spawning here. Piggy trying to do what he can to secure that. Has to, or is forced to drop bottom middle. Great grenades. Forces one of the players back. It's cleaned up by Super CC. Nice cleanup, though, from Descendant. And with the insta-explodes here, that's going to put Suspector in a tough spot. Beautiful play by Descendant. 3 dead for AB. Now the whole map is Payd's.
3-man push coming out of Payd, though. Super CC hiding in the corner. That's going to net him at least 1 kill. Not quite more than that, as Descendant comes in for the cleanup, and Payd are the ones that go 3 down. Descendant expects something fishy out of Ryan Noob, who was trying to get sneaky, but I did not think he hit that stick. Are you kidding me?
There's great overall plays from both players. Super CC somehow gets ascending baseline back into A. Hides for a moment and results in 2 players being cleaned up here and taking them down. But just as we say that, Descendant answers right back himself with the flank in A and gets the stick onto Ryanoob, which puts Payd back in a good position. Not a lot of clock off, or not a lot of game time off the clock here since we last talked about it. But going into a 3-1 lead is definitely going to open up the rest of the game for how you kind of want to approach the final hills.
So far, both teams so close as far as progression here, and I say that Descending baseline just overwhelmed Payd through the blue side, and now get the chance to not only score, but also influence exactly where Payd is spawning and attack them before they're able to activate and engage. This is an important play that's happening right now, and as Descendant trying to widen his influence on the map, he's forced back. Piggy on the other side is able to take down Ryan Noob, but Ryan Noob ends up going down. Descendant just back and forward playing with Suspector, but Suspector gets his kill. Will Payd get this hill?
Lots of mind games going on here between Suspector and Descendant as they dance around the pole trying to clean each other up, but it is going to allow for Payd to secure the hill just barely enough time. Ascending baseline did what they could to battle back, but this game's still far from over. Payd, they're either going to force the pressure onto this hill, try to close out the game immediately with this much time on the clock. Definitely their best option. Ryan Noob and crew should have one or a few pushes to try to break any setups that they have. Acid was taken down, but Ryan Noob wisely backing down. He knows there's not a lot of time to play with. You can't be giving up free or early deaths when these pushes are so paramount.
A lot of time being accumulated by Payd here. Finally tapping buttons gets 1 out, but just part of a double kill from Acid is momentarily ascending baseline. Go 4 down, and Jackson is already forcing the split spawners. It's only 2 that'll be here on the blue side, courtesy of Jackson, but it's 2 that break out. Super CC sent back. Ryan Noob is there as well. Suspector decides to join the fight, but 3 down, go ascending baseline, and just one more player to deal with, and that's all she wrote. PAYD taking another one, 4-1, making the series 3-1 in their favor.
Yeah, early 3-1 lead. Could have been 4-1 if we didn't see ascending baseline battle back so hard on that Origin CTF. Then again, at the same time, with the Solitude Slayer, could have seen ascending baseline have another one on the board also themselves here. When you look at the stats, Super CC definitely getting taken out a lot this game, finds himself with quite a few assists, but ultimately, I think that top catwalk kill definitely hurt a lot. Saw AB, especially tapping to secure that first hill. It was all PAYD to start the game. You know, you saw AB kind of bounce back, and some of the hills got pretty mixy, but PAYD was just a little bit cleaner towards the end each time. Close that one out.
Really excited to see both of these teams duke it out so far. I mean, this series literally could be a 2-2 with how close these teams have been playing. PAYD obviously up 3-1 in the series, but these are hard fought battles that both teams are going through right now. And I'm taking a look at the stats, and I love seeing almost 4 players. I mean, you know what? Just give him the honorary extra, 64 points he needs to get all 4 players in the 5K club. You gotta love that coming out of PAYD. That is big time damage, and maybe a large reason why they were able to win out some of these hills the way they were when they got close is because there was just too much damage going down for ascending baseline ultimately to play through.
Yeah, you can see PAYD. They are going to be a tough squad here, kind of right back in form of where they left off, and with Acid on this team and the dominant performances that we can see from him and what he's able to do with the rest of the roster and the room that they're opening up for each other on the map. They're able to really close out and play super objective, efficient. Still a lot of game clock left there in that game to have 5 hills captured. So you can see there's definitely no breathing room. These guys are not wasting any time getting their feet in the hill. Constantly focused on objective work as well, and it's boding really well to give them all kind of the opportunity to play how they want to play.
We just got a decent spike in viewership here. So, guys, welcome. In case you guys don't know what's going down, it's your straight ripping pro scrim night. In case you've heard of the team before, I don't know if you heard of straight ripping once or twice in your Halo day, but been around for quite some time, been back, and so far bringing some of the best content here in Halo, and one of it is your pro scrim night. Which somebody's nicknamed the cash grab. We've done a little bit of cash grabbing as well. Money on the line for both of these teams to try to get their hold of by winning the scrim as far as series score line. It happens once a week. Get yourself some drops, watch yourself some top Halo action, have a good time. But more importantly, if you love this type of content, hey, show it to us, you know. And one way you can do that is gifted subs. It not only helps monetarily, but it also helps us know that you like this type of content, and we continue to put this going forward, and also maybe some things that are like that. And of course, even out taking the money out of it, follows, retweets on the socials, all that good stuff, it goes a long way. So thank you guys for stopping by and enjoy the show, because right now Ascending Baseline and PAYD are putting on a show. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, definitely a close few games here as we get ready now for game number 6. But you got to be careful though, as we've seen. Last week we went to game 15. So these games can get. The series is never over till it's over. Teams can always battle back here, but would definitely like to see AB take this game here, game number 5 here. Try to keep this series neck and neck.
Started with Ryan Noob. Well, we did start with Ryan Noob until back-to-back kills from PAYD, but it's not only he, but tapping buns as well on the respawn screen of Super CC, fighting for his life and for the sniper. He is able to win a fight and able to get away over towards his reinforcements. Now, confident with the repulse, right back in the action, and Piggy just narrowly avoids death, courtesy of the S7.
Good Super CC hits. Oh my goodness.
Pennsylvania's finest right there. Oh my goodness, Super CC, welcome back, baby, and tapping buttons. Gets himself a camouflage large because of those plays, and now Ascending Baseline looking to hold forward use every bit of resource, use all this damage to force PAYD into a non-advantageous position, but Camo goes down 33-6 in favor of PAYD.
I mean, going back to that play again, Tony, Super CC grits the sniper, misses the, I wouldn't say easy shot, but the shot onto the player in A. And he actually has players on both sides of him, top middle, like 2 towards A, 2 towards tower. He flies towards tower while getting shot in the back from sandbags, and then hits both headshots onto the players, towards C. So disgusting plays here from Super CC.
As of right now, the Ascending Baseline scoring, PAYD have been stuck at 33 points, and that's because Ascending Baseline have been holding on to this double cap, both Alpha and Bravo. Little sprint strafe action. Ryan Noob answers back with the jiggle peek. Acid comes in for the cleanup and decides to stay in the pocket against the Spectre. Big time damage, but forced out. And Acid just always tricky when you never know when he's retreating or when he's re-engaging. Finally, you take Acid out, but it ain't easy to do.
Definitely ain't easy to do here as we're back on board with Super CC. He's got players pushing pretty aggressively towards A. Ryan, but the QT flies in, does get the cleanup kill. Now you can see they don't know these players are all pushing towards A, but in fact they are, and very quickly Ryan takes the QT back, wants to get into an engagement, finds a player to no shields, but they should be trying to flip C here as this A is completely lost.
Early nades down to Ryan Noob. The QT does end up running out, so no get out of jail free card, and instead you'll get a nade from your teammate, but also get a kill there. Piggy with the camouflage stays alive, and hey, that's a big time play. Just being able to stay alive, having your teammates there. Love this double push by PAYD, and because of that, Piggy lives with this camouflage and continues to get value out of it.
Camo's still in play. He's got another cleanup onto the player pillars as they flip B here. It was one alive. They know he's over towards C. New spawners will grab A so they can play with some aggression. Piggy also influencing spawns here over towards B side of the map. Super CC has camo, or excuse me, sniper, but I'm not sure he knows camo players right next to him. No harm, no foul as both players back down here, but with an aggressive push now from Ascending Baseline and Piggy running out of camo, this may be AB's time to break.
Back-to-back kills coming out of Ascending Baseline, tapping buttons with some interesting and creative movement to stay alive, and Super CC just lined them up with the sniper, doing the damage. Even when the kills aren't going his way, the damage still is, and it's tough to play through damage. Triple cap for Ascending Baseline, and somehow they're not done just yet, flying onto every single player that plays for a base. Charlie almost belonged to PAYD, but almost doesn't count, and right now it's PAYD that are getting cycled here. Tapping buttons, not giving up a piv, and every piv that's won for Ascending Baseline puts PAYD further and further behind the 8-ball.
Yeah, you can see that just the timings and how staggered spawns can become, and just really how small the map is when that starts happening. Players having the opportunity to just G-slide out in the middle of the map, contest any hill and any spawn pretty quickly. They do, or PAYD does come back and able to flip 2 strongholds briefly, but with A being recaptured, tapping to get back into B, has 2 in front of him, finds himself 1 and make that 2 assists. Should be once again now AB with a player in C, or so Ascending Baseline with a player in C now back on the triple cap.
140 points and counting here. Trip cap still locked in right now, and it's suffocating them. As another kill goes down, Alpha is cleared out. They finally able to take Bravo and stop the bleeding just a bit, but it's still cut. And right now, PAYD once again not able to find the kills. They go 3 down, and Ascending Baseline are right back on the base, and PAYD cannot get anything to work their way.
Yeah, I would say this is definitely the most dominant kind of positioning that we've seen in game so far out of AB in this scrim now, as they've been able to kind of maintain, or maybe not maintain, but at least kind of push the triple cap here consistently onto PAYD while securing weapons and camos. Even the times they've not secured the camos, they didn't necessarily lose too much out of it as they find themselves in over double point lead.
Double caps still being held here by Ascending Baseline, and with the way that they're playing right now, I can't think of a better time to hop into a listen. And let's go into a listen with Ascending Baseline and find out why their score line is the way it is.
2 shots. Yeah.
Yeah, one A.
Top 2, top 2.
Don't touch.
Two shot.
One shot near.
Nice.
I'm one shot here.
Right B.
Okay, I'm gonna wrap pillars.
Hitting fucked me up. Back green, no damage. Back green and dice. Dice, no damage. No damage. No damage.
Okay, I'm going
Go
to.
big door, big door. Too big door.
Too big. I got
big,
it.
no damage.
Get out. There's one in A.
That's one tower.
That's
That's
dark.
Two jail. My chase.
That's yeah.
Sit there. I'll cap so you can fight him and go B.
He should die eventually.
I got one dead. Was he mud? I spawned
Oh no, we are.
Now we dummies.
That means it's not
He's
hurt.
ported on me. Back B.
He's cuts.
Cuts.
He's going
Grab
down.
inside.
Hiding.
Don't do it. Yeah.
Double door.
2B. We're one ported back there.
Kiddo.
Damage to snipe. Damage door. Snipe.
I'm
Repulse.
hiding this. Be sure.
Yeah, snipe.
And I will say you heard a bit of a sense of urgency being heard in the comms of ascending baseline there, but eventually they did end up losing control, and it's a lot of time now being put for PAYD here. Momentum on their side, and it feels like PAYD are almost right back into it. One round of slays, one play goes your way, and live fire belongs to you.
Yeah, you can see AB in favor of PAYD. They've been able to battle their way back into this game. Definitely over 60 unanswered points here as we've seen them on their run. But with that being said here, B may be flipping. There's a lot of action coming over here towards Big Door, but with some help to Suspector, should be able to push this player back and maybe even rotate over to contest new camo.
178 points here. Ryan flying and almost not able to find the headshot, but able to do so and almost hits himself a double. And love the repulse. That nade should have taken him out, but heads up play coming out of Ryan Noob as he flies and soars towards Bravo, just barely getting in time to neutralize it, but spike grenade doesn't connect. Nade keeps picking back for just a second. That second is all he needed for Suspector to get involved.
Just great heads-up play by Ryan to actually get out of A and push towards B. He's kept it out of scoring position here for PAYD for quite some time. Tries to make a hero play, but I think he just ends up falling off the map. But between a rock and a hard place, it's definitely going to go down either way. Ascendant with camo being impactful, and we're seeing PAYD with their maybe only their second triple, maybe could be first triple cap of the game as well, but that should cut into this lead significantly.
PAYD looking to take the lead after this run is done, especially with sending baseline once again going half down. Suspector over toward the mid map, but it's Jackson is quickly on his tail, and Piggy's there for the cleanup. Charlie just about changes hands here. Acid though not only forces Ryan Noob out, but gets himself to reset, takes down Ryan Noob, and although Super CC gets himself a kill, it's not enough. PAYD are still scoring, and PAYD with the lead.
Yeah, like you mentioned, back in the lead. First time in the lead here. I think since we were tied 0-0 in the game, or, first time in the lead overall. Back, stopping the bleeding at least partially. You see Ascending baseline flipping A, but Acid, he's been able to grab that new sniper and escape with it towards tower. Can't find yourself in a better position than this here right now. As long as they can spot some of these players out. They think there's someone dummies, but nobody is there. They're coming heavy through top middle. Find themselves the kill onto Jackson. Tapping in the kill feed, grabs 2 Acid. Disgusting headshot. Unbelievable. Oh.
He's not done? Are you kidding me? Game-changing plays, game-defining plays being made by Acid. Everything else from this point forward is just icing on the cake, as PAYD have already done the damage enough to put a 248-191 lead, and now it's Ascending baseline with a desperate push over toward Bravo, but turn that into a squad wipe, and PAYD, you better be careful. You're flirting with danger. Ascending baseline have control.
Yeah, I said he thought he was playing with house money there and game was over, but it looks like Ascending baseline's got a little bit left in the tank as they do get into B at the last second and able to put themselves back in scoring position. As you can see, though, it is a scary moment, though, because this game can still go any way. Camo going down to Piggy, who was playing Nest, though, is not what you want to see. Somehow staying alive, getting extra damage. A reset comes in, though. 220 to 248, 3 dead for PAYD. They have one final push here.
So one magical thing about strongholds, as long as you have 2 bases, your opponent's score line stops. Not like Call of Duty's domination where it goes slower, it is halted. And right now it's PAYD that need an answer. Nothing is given, only earned, and Suspector earns himself yet another 1v1 win. Tapping Buns right through the white wall side, but they're caught out, and that's 4 down. And with that, Charlie changes hands. Bravo is gonna join them, and PAYD put their 4th on the board, 250 to 237.
And that one definitely hurts a little bit here, considering how the series has gone, considering how close some of the games have been. The first game that is sending baseline is actually coming out ahead and in a dominant position. We could almost make the same argument for Solitude Slayer, but considering the early lead they had here and the dominant position they found themselves in, I mean, really, it kind of felt like it was just Acid getting Sniper at the end of the game. That's kind of what really changed the momentum. And even though AB fought back, I think a little bit of maybe confusion on where those final players were at the end of the game. Not that the players could have lived, but maybe just bought some extra time. Once they went 4 dead, obviously, it was just GG's at that point.
I will say one thing that we tend to notice here, or at least I've noticed, is I mean, think about the series so far. The only game that PAYD actually haven't won is a game where Acid actually had a fairly slow start. You know, that 0-4 start. Eventually did get like an honorary overkill, but it was at like literally the tail end of that game. Every other game where he's just been consistent from start to finish, some way, somehow, PAYD are able to win it. So I mean, it's that consistency that they need from out of Acid, and ultimately the rest of the squad too, because most of the time when you see Acid on top, usually the damage is there for everybody. But the game-changing plays, man, I mean, we've just been talking about it time and time again. It's Acid, and I don't know if it's just because it's the player we know least about. I think he's warranted us talking about him the way that we have, honestly.
Well, I mean, you know, we talked about some of the names that have really kind of popped out in 2026, and you know, it was Acid. A lot of the different Bandit Piv wins, a lot of the sprint strafes that we're seeing out of him, some of the shock plays and the way he's been able to take over specific games. You know, he's been, you know, one of the more kind of talked about, I'd say, players here for this season.
Early lead here for PAYD. 4-1, not just a score line. Actually, it was a score line in the game too. 4 down, go ascending baseline, and descending gets a turn with the shock at the moment. Meanwhile, all members of ascending baseline spawning over toward the A side, and Piggy waiting for the right moment to strike when his teammates are in position. Forget one-sided attack. It's a 2-pronged attack coming out of PAYD that leaves ascending baseline just looking for an answer, and they found one in the stick.
Yeah, tapping is shock though. Down by 4. We'll see how we can put this to use. Suspector, if you take a look at the stats, he's got 4. The majority of the kills here for ascending baseline. Tapping electing to play aggressive here now with this sniper. They've got 2 down for PAYD. They want to keep these players staggered and keep the aggression on them here. As you can see, they're cutting down into the sleep, starting to influence the spawns a little bit more and trying to keep the same kind of pace.
12-10 advantage here, and Tapping Buns lines up to Sender, takes him down, and right then and there, ascending baseline put themselves within striking distance right back in the fight against PAYD. Tapping Buns gonna navigate his way through the gold side of the map. Piggy might be the next fight that he has to take, but Acid wants to get involved, and that bit of damage is just enough to pull him away from that angle. Maybe activate Piggy to try to go in for an early fight. Oh, no, Piggy doesn't know. Piggy doesn't know.
Piggy doesn't know. And with that last shock rifle, Tapping connects with the headshot. And now we see ascending baseline back in the lead. Camo's getting ready to spawn in 3 seconds, and PAYD find themselves in a tough position to battle out of.
Killing spree from Tapping Buns is ended just as quick as it came. Suspector doesn't know that Acid is hunting him down. That early damage enough for Descender to come in quickly for the cleanup. Ryan Noob trying to get involved, but too little too late. The damage done, 17 apiece. And Piggy already decided to engage and finds the first pick onto Tapping Buns and wants more.
We got 3 go down. Super CC, last player alive. He's over towards top gold. I don't think they knew he was there, though. Gets the cleanup on the Yaks and takes the chow onto Piggy, but I think he actually gets cleaned up here by the player in A. but definitely a great heads-up player. High risk, high reward. Sniper comes in from Acid, connects onto both Ryan Uba and Tapping. One at distance and 1 point blank. Doesn't matter where you aren't safe. I'd call that one mid-range. And he just went ahead and just showed you what he's capable at any distance.
And again, when we talk about the game-defining plays, we talk about the plays that get made in order to change the way the rhythm of the flow of the map is going. Again, we talk about Acid, and whether it's the sniper, whether it's a shock, no matter what gun he has in the hands, even the BR, he finds value out of it. And 30-21 right now is a score between these two. And Ryan Noob taking a whole lot of damage, and Acid hunting him down along with every single other player on the map. You need to heat check this young man. He's getting too hot.
Yeah, with 3 players, though, not much you can do when you're hiding behind a little pillar. Finally, AB will clean up Acid and take him off the map. Now, he's been shut down a little bit. You're gonna definitely have to maintain shock rifle control for the rest of the game. You can't let a player who's as hot as Acid right now just kind of busting out triple kills, and even with that last shot connected on a pretty good looking shot, kind of have his way to move around the map here. You can see 34-24. It's been all PAYD since the beginning, since they got that shock.
36-24, PAYD already up 4-1 in the series and looking to add to it. If they continue to go this way, it's exactly what they're going to do. Setting baseline, you've seen a couple plays go their way. You've seen a few moments where they look good, but right now it's PAYD that look great, and he actually just got robbed of that camouflage due to the grapple, but even then, it's birthed right away. And what happens? Super CC loses the grapple, and ascending baseline loses another resource that PAYD take advantage of.
That's the halt to this kind of pressure that AB needed if they're going to get back in this. Down by 13, make it 12 now. Players over here towards control. No help from Force Spectre. You just can't have any deaths at this point, and I don't think it's going to be a scenario where AB is going to play like that. Acid just says, no way. You give them any opportunity. One player go down. These players are just pushing middle of the map and constantly. The comm's definitely on point here for PAYD. I think maybe a little bit late to go in to 1 here now, so save it for next game, but you can see when they find those opportunities, they are immediately following up on every other player on the map or any damage that might be down on the map. Just playing, like working together extremely well, not wasting any time, being in constant positions to clean up each other's damage.
Only 35 points here for ascending baseline. Meanwhile, PAYD just about done with this game, and PAYD, who've just been fantastic and consistent with this entire Slayer so far, are going to take yet another one and add their 5th game of the series. And that might have been the most decisive win, I would say, in favor of PAYD so far. When we look across all of the games, ascending baseline have actually went to war with PAYD time and time again, but that was the best that we've seen PAYD look when it comes to momentum and just cycling your opponent. Really love that game out of them.
Yeah, of course, like we said, Solitude Slayer being that 50-48 game. I'd say the Lattice King of the Hill was at one of the heavy favored kind of PAYD games as well. You had an AB ahead, the first quarter of the map, but from then on out, once we hit the halfway point, we found just 10, 12 kill, even higher lead at point for PAYD. And they could have definitely won this game by much more, but once they saw blood in the water, they just pushed and traded out kills. Winning by 12 or 10 or 15 doesn't really matter here. They were just looking to close that one out.
So far, 5-1 is your score line in your pro scrim night. And man, ascending baseline, as much as we talked about them, as good as they look towards, leading up into Atlanta. And honestly, even at Atlanta on land, where I guess it matters most, ascending baseline have looked absolutely fantastic. But in this scrim, it feels like it is PAYD that we have to talk about. And I will say, from the moment this team was starting to come together, when we started to see Jackson come back from Call of Duty alongside Precision, I was surprised that we didn't see at least 3/4, if not this whole roster, come together with how good they looked alongside Envy last year. This team looked absolutely fantastic, and things didn't line up maybe the way that they wanted to, and we've seen two of these players start to team together in duos, but finally you have three-fourths of that core Envy roster that's come together to send in Jackson and Piggy, and they just look good. Like they're good. They're good apart, but they're just great together. And I feel like, although I'm a big fan of Precision, I think Acid really fits that role that he wanted Precision to play like a glove. And it's a fantastic roster. And it's one that I feel like we all need to be paying attention because they have upset potential. When you think of, some of the best teams in the league, you think of the Luminons, you think of even the Beps, you think of the Shopify Rebellions. If you're looking for an underdog squad to take some games off of them and steal a series, well, dude, PAYD, they looking to get just that. They're looking to get paid.
Yeah, we talked about some of the history here between the players, the Precision and Descendant kind of duo that was being established, or was definitely talked about a lot. But I'd almost say it's a little bit different. I don't necessarily think it's as much about Acid filling the shoes of Precision. I think it's the team just having the opportunity to play completely different. I think Luminon fits Precision's playstyle better, and I think Acid is exactly what these guys really want, and like exactly what Descendant really wants, almost as like a duo, to really open up space on the map and allow him to kind of make the plays that he wants to as well. And you can see even in Acid's case as well, being top frag, having someone max damage in a lot of these games as well. It's clearly the role that he's comfortable in also.
I mean, I'll be honest, but I'm thinking of every team in the league right now, and I don't think there's a single team that would say I don't want Acid on my team. I feel like you put Acid on almost any team, and I'm sure he's gonna have some fun. He's that talented, man. And you talked about it, the slaying that he brings to the table. Some way, somehow, you're gonna find some value with that. So yeah, I feel like many teams would love to have him on the roster, and I'm gonna agree with you entirely, especially this PAYD roster. And I'm excited to see I wanted to see more of them, not only in the rest of the scrim, but also maybe some qualifiers. I know there's been a pro league that's been announced. We don't have the details for that, but I'm sure that whatever PAYD are looking forward to are probably going to in line with that pro league, because they're obviously way too talented to not be involved.
Oh, of course. And as we get ready for the next game here, we had a false start as we get ready back into Aquarius CTF. Players are ready to rock and roll. We'll see, is Ascending Baseline going to be battled back into this? Because now we are reaching the point of no return in some of these games. But at the same time, backs against the wall, no room for error. We do see a lot of times players really start to step up here now.
Ascending Baseline needed a few games under their belt in order to catch up. I mean, down by 4. It's obviously not impossible, but you got to think, a bit improbable when Capture the Flag comes out. Ascending Baseline bring their best gameplay to the table, and camouflage in the hands of tapping buttons. And now you're starting to get some resources, starting to chain together a few kills. Things looking better for Ascending Baseline.
Oh, jeez. What a stick, though. Comes in, takes out the camo player. And, I say one thing that could bode well for Ascending Baseline is, when it comes to the game types that they want, it was, in fact, Slayer. Flag and Flag on Origin, that they took that one. Obviously, a lot of these games have been in winnable positions down to the wire here, but it was Flag that bode well in their favor.
Piggy, though, the ones with the flag, and that's not for Ascending Baseline, it is for PAYD. As it's right on the pedestal, you have to imagine to punch this one in, and it's the first flag cap for PAYD that goes in early. And mind you, Ascending Baseline already a fresh 3 down. PAYD, they have a chance to maybe turn one into more.
Yeah, Piggy wisely takes his time, knows nobody is in really good position to stop him from capping that flag, as long as he doesn't give up his life or expose himself, no shields. Gets his health, picks up some trades, gets back out on the map, and that allows the rest of PAYD to put AB back down 4 dead again. And now they've progressed up on the map, keeping the aggression. 3 members come off spawn in the base, but Jackson looks like a little bit of an overchow gets cleaned up, and that's going to be the relief here that AB needs to kind of break through or break out.
Once again, 3 down, go ascending baseline, and flag started for PAYD. Looks like he's thrown out, and looks like is this gonna be relayed forward? That's because Super CC is already stretched across the map here, and might have to be the one to clutch out a kill against Acid. But the first person you gotta deal with is Piggy, not able to do so. Flag goes in. That's 2 in a row for PAYD.
There, Super CC gets cleaned up. You do have some pressure coming in. Suspector and Tapping get into the base of PAYD, but PAYD coming off spawn so quickly, they're just playing out front, and with the rest of Ascending baseline kind of pulling up the rear a little bit too far, there isn't any kind of cross-map pressure on these players, keeping them trapped in the fridge.
Piggy steals away at Camouflage here, and just another win condition that's no longer in the hands of Ascending baseline. He goes Ghost. Windu pulls that flag right off the base, and Piggy with a big 5-shot win. Suspector trying to continue that flag forward, but it's really tough to do when you don't have the shields and you are being hunted down. Suspector changes direction to go through the util side. That's exactly where his teams are blocking every line of sight except the one that matters, that barely stops that flag from going in. But you gotta imagine that they should be able to get it. Should be able to. 3 down, go ascending baseline.
Oh, make that 4 down. Suspector first spawner. Tapping comes off spawn in the base. They weren't able to get the return here quite yet. And in fact, a touch comes in for AB. We'll see how PAYD elects to play this position. Descendant thought he could get out of the base with the flag and move it, but Tapping, rather than playing for the touch, went for the return. Does come away with 2 kills and the return, allowing a score now for AB to get right back into this game. Unofficial overkill?
Make it official! Make it official!
Unofficial kill tag?
No, not yet. He went down. He went down. But maybe the next one. Tapping Buttons hits the first overkill that we've seen on stream so far. We've seen a lot of triples and a whole lot of Acid one getting the triples, but it's Tapping Buttons with the over. Still down by 1 cap. 1 shot, just barely able to escape the reticle of Suspector. And now you're running into both players. Can you take down one? No, you can't. Piggy shuts that one down and PAYD alleviate the pressure that Ascending baseline will put him down.
Yeah, it was a great opportunity to maybe get something else going here on the map, but PAYD just making themselves such difficult kills every time. You see Descendant pull all the way back into the peak corner of the base, drawing Suspector and the rest of the crew out into the danger zone, getting cleaned up and ultimately stopping any kind of flag pull. Rhino making some crazy plays over here towards the base with the thrust and plasma pistol. Allows Suspector to get a kill, grab the thrust, pick up the 5-shot onto Yaxon, and oh man, that was almost a cap itself in the hands of Suspector.
14 kills so far with Acid. You have to imagine with the Camouflage, you should be able to put more on the board here. Tapping Buttons and Super CC already over in the util side. Looks like Suspector was trying to join them, but PAYD immediately pushed them out, and it's just overwhelming power and firepower coming out of PAYD, and because of that, another flag is being ran across the map. There's no overextenders in sight. That's because Ryan was hiding, but eventually they find him. They deal with them, and a 3rd flag cap in for PAYD.
Yeah, Ryan trying to do what he can, but does get sniffed out as well. A couple kills in the kill feed puts Acid as the last player alive, who's got that camo over here in his own base, so not really in position to stop this flag from moving. But with the help of his teammate, they elect to push through bottom middle, and you can just see it's these angles that they take. They're so confident in playing through bottom middle and just middle of the map. And a lot of times it's Ascending baseline kind of getting stuck in the utils or a little bit on the outskirts of the map. This time, however, it might work out as 3 go down once again. And we see AB put their 2nd flag in.
Suspector not only capping that flag, but also able to have some P-side presence almost immediately. Piggy, who thought he was in a 1v1, eventually finds himself into a 1v2. And Super CC and Tapping Buttons, back-to-back kills. Tapping Buttons with the extra damage. 3 go down for PAYD. 1 is barely going to escape. Tapping Buttons keeping his eye on the prize, moving his flag forward. We could see back-to-back caps until Acid introduces himself back to the fight.
Acid back in the game here, 19 and 10 with a thrust to play with, make it double digits, or excuse me, not double digits, but double positive as he hits 20 and 10 and just keep it counting. will go ahead and secure the return as well. Get in the enemy team base. Finally does get cleaned up. Thrust goes back onto respawn here. Camo in 20 seconds. You almost thought they would have pulled maybe a cap out of that, but AB definitely doing some pretty good defense here, but will they be able to sniff out Descendant?
Love the sneaky play. And now Descendant going after his former teammate. Turns that into a double kill. Descendant just keeping his presence low, and because of that, turns that into 2. And now 3 members of Ascending Baseline trying to get out of their base at the moment here, but PAYD already applying pressure the moment that they come off a spawn. Now a sneaky creative route for Descendant leads into yet another one. A killing spree. Descendant really starting to feel himself.
Yeah, he was trapped in the util. Once, like, fought multiple players multiple times, but somehow ends up in the base running the flag. Great job by Descendant here. Couple kills coming in. Piggy's got himself camo, but with a numbers disadvantage, wisely ignores the flag and plays up on the map.
Still has the camouflage to work with, does Piggy. As a teammate with them as well, that flag just about returning on its own at the moment. Too quickly going down for PAYD, and Piggy just waiting, trying to find where his next target's gonna be, and ends up closer than he expected. Spectre seemingly coming out of nowhere, at least from the point of view of Piggy, and 2 go down for us in the baseline. PAYD should be able to get returned. That's the 3rd.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at the stats once again. It's the Spectre who's top of the leaderboard along with Acid at 22 apiece here. 3 minutes left to play. Lots of trades going on here towards car side of the map. Is Ascending Baseline and Tapping Buttons moving in, trying to clean up a few of these. Tapping grabs himself 2 to put 3 dead now for PAYD. Now we're seeing another opportunity for AB as they make their way into PAYD's base.
2 thrusts to work with here for Tapping Buttons. He doesn't even need, nor does usually win a fight, but when your teammate, an enemy team gets first shot on you, a thrust ain't that bad to have. Reversal for the trade. Piggy, eyes set onto Super CC. Team was momentarily 3 down. He's going to join them as PAYD march forward toward the util of Ascending Baseline.
Big pivotal battle here going on towards the flag. Both players wisely back down, though. Nobody looking to give up any free deaths. Cleanup does come in, though, for AB as was Tapping Buttons versus Acid. 3, though, for AB now made their way out towards P side of the map. Jackson trying to do what he can to clean up some of these kills. Can't find anything, though. Flag gets left behind momentarily. As you can see, PAYD looking for a few additional kills. 2 players from Ascending Baseline now in utility, doing what they can to trade out. Ryan, who finds himself yet another kill to put 3 dead again with camo up. That's a fresh 4 dead for PAYD. This should be a guaranteed camo, a guaranteed flag cap, and a tie game with just 2 minutes left.
Damage onto Piggy. Target switches over towards Acid, was on the rotation. And now just staying alive with the camouflage. You love that out of Tapping Buttons, and you love a tied up game pushing into clutch time. It's 1 minute and 30 seconds on the clock. This next cap could be the last.
Yeah, definitely looking that way. How the pace of this game has gone. Spectre at 25, Descendant and Acid at 24. Tapping 23 here. Tapping, though, is the player with camo, the one looking to be the most impactful one here on the map. Does get sniffed out and only walks away with a trade. Would have loved to see some additional pressure or help coming down through top middle, but it's just nothing but trades here for both teams at the moment.
1 minute remaining.
Combined almost 50 kills coming out of both Descendant and Acid, not even including the amount of assists that they have at the moment. But Acid going down for the 17th time creates an opportunity for Spectre and the crew to play through. That's a double, making a triple, and pulls that flag almost immediately. No timing loss whatsoever. Right through the mid-map he goes. Acid just a split second too late with how quick Spectre is on the rotation, and that flag is already in the base, and that is just perfect execution coming out of Ascending Baseline.
Yeah, but this is a scary moment here. Acid came off spawn, hit a perfect on Ryanoob to actually open up some of the breathing room. That flag does go in, but with 20 seconds left, 2 go dead for Ascending Baseline once again, and flag gets pulled. This game is by no means over.
Not done just yet. 10 seconds, all you need, as long as you're able to force a sudden death. And all you need is a piggy, a descendant, another cap, and you sneak that one through just when I thought one would be enough to put him out. Paid cap it with what, just 2 seconds on the clock? And it's overtime, so no question about it. Next, Cap will take the win.
Yeah, that was a pretty crazy sequence here. Suspector making just one of the most ridiculous plays in the scenario imaginable to get a triple kill flagpole and a flag cap. But the fact that it gets answered right back could be pretty deflating and a big momentum shift here over towards PAYD in this game.
Hold on. And just as quickly as it started, it could be over. Super CC, although he gets a pull from PAYD, he's the final player alive from ascending baseline. And it looks like PAYD dedicated a lot of resources to getting him out of the base there, so maybe a lot of time, a lot of space that they're not able to take. And ascending baseline get out of their spawn. Piggy still just lurking around with the camo.
The good news is Super CC kept the camo player, towards the back of the base, but we'll see how that kind of pans out. Luckily, tapping buttons grabs himself a double kill over here towards P side of the map that completely flips this whole push on its head. Piggy still has that camo, but it's starting to get quite low here now. Ascending baseline, taking their time. They hear that camo run out. Look for the engagement. Trade here for tapping. With 2 dead, though, Ryanoob is over in the base. They're playing really aggressive, but Super CC doesn't find the angle.
Easy kill for Super CC. Turns that into a double, and mind you, doesn't take any damage in return, so lives to see yet another engagement, but it ends up getting shredded. I think there was a bandit and a BR that were targeted on him. Descendant starting this flag off in the curb slide. From one curb slide to another, the route is clean out of Descendant, who already has that flag into the base of PAYD. And hold on, ascending baseline, you need kills and you need them now, and it starts with Jackson, who's just creating so much havoc, so much chaos on the map, and you're finally able to take both him and Datsun down.
Yeah, the fact that Descendant got that flag all the way across the map that quickly was pretty crazy, but it doesn't go, or the return doesn't come in. I think Ascending Baseline really thought that one was coming home. They were able to move the flag of PAYD's back to their own base to try to get it in scoring position, but without the return, this is going to be a hard-fought battle still.
The damage, I'm not sure he was able to take down both players. Actually, I think he was. We down. He was. He got, oh my gosh, ascending baseline. Quick on the kills, quick on the return. And before we could even keep up with it, ascending baseline put their second flag cap, or excuse me, second game on the board.
And we talked about those capture the flags, Tony. Capture the flag Origin, capture the flag Aqua. Ryanoob and his ability to IGL some of these flag games and just keep the team in contention definitely pays off really well here. Well, not only that, but Suspector, he was top frag and made hero plays to get that flag and get AB in the lead just before that overtime. But look at tapping buttons, comes back with a handful of kills himself to end the game at 32 and top of both teams here. So you've seen tapping and acid kind of going head to head back and forth here in a lot of these matchups.
I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of, if we go back to the kills and the assist, I'm more looking at Piggy and looking at 9K damage out of him. I saw not only, I think he had 24 kills, but also 26 assists. You add that together, I mean, that's like 50 engagements that he was a part of in some way, shape, or form, and really kind of reflects over the damage department. I will say that was quite the game out of him. Obviously, things didn't go exactly their way and didn't actually get the win there, but I will say that's a lot of damage, a lot of assists. Somebody else on the opposite side of it, maybe it was Ryanoob, also had over 20 assists on ascending baseline. I didn't get the chance to see who would, but you know me, I don't get kills, so I got to highlight the assist.
Hey, assists and teamwork make the dream work, Tony, and I believe that better than most. We will be looking at Vacancy King of the Hill next, although we're looking at a quick false start. So as we get the players back in the lobby here, as we get ready to load up, keep talking about some of those assists. I mean, kill participation definitely gets slept on a little bit more than it should. Maybe it's because math is hard. But when we play, people will be completely blinded by the top frag or the top kill, and it's really not that you can ever get a full picture of what a game looked like with different X factors and plays and the evolution of the game and how it evolves. Based on score and the plays that happen. But if you can look at the kills, assists, and damage dealt, but also damage taken too, that's you can get at least a decent picture, of what's happening in the game and how influential players are being, in general.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of one thing that I feel like I would love to see maybe highlighted more in future Halos, and that to me is the assist. I feel like if you look at what Halo does as far as the points and the KDA, I think an assist is like maybe like a third of a kill, maybe even a quarter of a
Yeah, I think
kill.
it's a third,
Uh,
dude.
it's a third. So, and it's not a bad number, but I love, like, for example, like an Apex, for example, where a kill and assist is almost the exact same. So I would love, actually, if maybe like it's maybe not exactly the same as a kill, but maybe we up that a little. Maybe like 60% of your KD or your score line. I feel like an assist should count, because I really do feel like if you're playing a 4v4 game mode and you get that first strike on your opponent, you get that first kill, and it turns to a 2 down, that's so valuable that who cares who gets the final headshot? In my opinion, if your team gets them 2 down, you're activating on that. Whether that's in a Slayer, you're activating on the spawns, or whether that's an objective, you're immediately playing the objective. Like, kills are so important and lead to so much in the game that I feel like an assist should be valued more. But that's just my opinion. I'll go deep down the rabbit hole on that one. I'm sure nobody wants to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely thought about the assists and the calculation of them before and whatnot. I think you have to shoot them at least twice to get an assist. However, like there is some factor into the length of time, I believe, before their like shields recharge and the damage that you had dealt from when they get cleaned up. Um, maybe adding a factor of like a half assist, or half of an assist, or a double assist type kill, because obviously shooting a player once and shooting a player 5 times, are two different factors when you get the kill as well. So to have those, with two shots and a 4-shot no shields are treated exactly the same, maybe you could have some fluctuation or some variety when it comes to how assists get calculated on the final scoreboard.
Yeah, that's another one. Well, if you guys want to lend a assist to us here in the broadcast and to Straight Rippin' as a whole, we've been talking about it the whole time. It goes a long way, whether it's a follow, a sub, or even interaction in the socials. You can lend an assist to us and let us know that you really enjoy this type of content, and have us continue to do it week after week. It's your Straight Rippin' Pro Scrim Night, where we take two teams and we put them up against each other. Maybe not that bad, but they were already planning on practice. They're already planning on scrimming. So Straight Rippin' puts a little bit of money in their pockets in order to do so. And in return, we get a great show. We put on some content. Me and Elamite do our casting thing, and we just have a great time with this. So again, if you guys want to be a part of that, it really helps by just interacting with not only the Twitch, but the socials and all that good stuff. While we yap here, because I can continue to talk about it. Hey, you guys want to talk about it? The fact that one headshot is worth 4 body shots as far as damage is great. You want to go down the rabbit hole of stats? I'll go down there. One headshot should not be worth 4 body shots with a bandit. It's ridiculous when it comes to damage. We're going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, I mean, damn, yeah, a lot of those calculations. Um, are interesting ones for sure. And of course, stats and what gets calculated and what gets shown and different APIs and Halo Data Hive and all the different resources are an interesting factor. And then of course you also have people that don't consider assists and are throwing their lives away and using scrims for one variety or another, and definitely aren't even looking at stats, right? So you definitely don't want to get stuck in a spot where you're making a decision based on stats when you can give your life to win the game or whatever it is to win the game, because obviously that's the only thing that matters. So still definitely just great. We're seeing kind of just how the duos work out, how the team mechanics are forming, how some of the chemistry is playing out, and how they want to approach different game types and different maps here as well.
And you know what? And while we're waiting for a game to load up, I think you bring up a good point, because it's an argument that that's been across, like, not even just esports, but across like traditional sports as well. Like, we're so data and stat driven that a lot of the intangibles are not even being put into effect, or not being calculated properly. Like I'll even use like the Spurs for example. You know, you have Wemby. What is he? 7'6"? I'd add 6'7". I think he's 7'6", 7'7", and his length alone influenced the game so much that even when he's not getting blocks, just for him being in the paint, players won't even go and try to go for a layup. They won't try to go for it. You can't, because he's 7'6" and have a wingspan of like 10 feet, 11 feet, which is crazy. And like it's like, how do you quantify that as a stat? Because it's not a block, it's not a defensive steal, but his presence alone stops so many drives to the basket, which is insane. And you think about stuff like that, and it goes with a lot of sports. You know, like talk about some of the bigger guys, the enforcers of a league who maybe can't score as well, don't demand a lot of the ball, but they're so important because defensively and just their stature alone. And we're kind of losing that a bit because of how data driven, how analytic driven we are. So stats are important, but also there's a lot of stuff that's outside the stat sheet that a player can make that can definitely add value to a team. So
yeah, I always like I always like how it's like points on the board, or like or well on the floor versus off the floor, and some of those might play in to how some of the different rosters and chemistry work. But yeah, like you said, Tony, we're back into this one. Players got it loaded up. We got to figure it out. A couple early kills here coming out for ascending baseline. Pretty split 50-50 decision making on the hills, but we see shock rifle spawning, and it looks like PAYD is going to be the first one to that.
And so far, PAYD getting some great time here. And mind you, and that's with Jackson over on the bottom of the map, looking for a new route to take and find the weakened players, such as tapping buttons. Jackson quick with the kill. Another player goes down, and before you know it, 3 members ascending baseline respawning, and PAYD are still scoring.
Yeah, and they're getting really close to putting this first hill on the board. A couple seconds here, and it doesn't look like anyone from AB is going to be able to get their feet to contest. Not only that, but the couple early kills also coming in favor PAYD as we get ready for this rotation here. Jackson trying to find some of these players towards top middle, but nice cleanup from Suspector. He's also got one thrust left to work with, but with 2 players here towards back elbow, he gets caught off guard and melted.
1-0 lead in favor of PAYD at the moment here as we switch over to Piggy, trying to get his shields back. He's gonna run into 2 different members of ascending baseline, but has the reinforcements to fight not just one, but also both. Get cleared away from the blue to yellow, and now it's PAYD trying to turn 1 hill into 2.
I like this from Jackson. He's playing blue tower, which can be a really powerful position if you can, prevent yourself from taking too much damage and dying to nades early on. With that carbine, you can just shred across the map, and you can see even with Super CC and Ryan, who double challenge, they weren't able to find the kind of damage they were looking for, and it's Jackson holding down and just locking down all of top center.
Carbine in the hands of Jackson. Scoring right now are PAYD. You can see ascending baseline spawning over on the green side of the map and trying to navigate their way over towards the yellow. It's tough to do, especially when Jackson is shooting like this. Jackson has come to play, but apparently so of ascending baseline. The trade goes down over toward the square. Another fight happens, but this time it's Ryan who not having the backup he needed. PAYD once again winning another play, another engagement, and close to their second hill.
Yeah, it looks like the second hill is all but secured, as it will get punched in. Tapping looking to try to find some of the kills here as the players are pushing out towards jail and rotating. Looks like 3 members from PAYD decide to push this angle, and they find themselves a 2-for-1 trade that'll bode out once again as they push into this third hill.
Ascendant clears 1. Gonna have to run into just a few more here. Super CC with some damage, but Descendant holding forward, W keying his way into the fight. Super CC can't survive, and the rest of PAYD with the chain reaction. Acid, I was about to say another triple, brother.
Yeah, you can see him go for the challenge. Hits a decent shock rifle shot for that triple, but does get cleaned up. And this game has been all PAYD. The spawns, the cycle, right from the get-go. Not much time off the clock, and it doesn't look like they're going to have to sacrifice much more to get an early 3-0 lead here in this game.
Back-to-back kills once again for PAYD and ascending baseline. They're trying to push up together. They're trying to play in twos, whether it's duo push, a 3-1 split. They're trying to find their way to force PAYD out, but every single time they're on the attack, PAYD have an answer and are simply ready for them. And by the time they do, it's too little, too late. 3-0 start for PAYD, and Acid, he's starting to feel himself a little bit. Man's grappling into the action and ready to fight Suspector as well. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, you can see ascending baseline. They're just not able to sniff out these players and kind of approach these hills and these breaks the way they want to. The pressure and aggression is just too quick, and whenever they do have any kind of footing or trying to make a play, there's always been a player hiding out or in a position they weren't necessarily expecting. Just moments ago, that was Acid over towards Blue Tower, so we'll see ascending baseline. Like, by no means Halo Infinite, it's a game over till it's over. But they've already got this hill over a quarter of the way captured.
Yeah, in the same way that we talked about maybe a strength of ascending baseline being to capture the flags, actually the only game mode that they currently have wins in. I mean, you have to say that PAYD not only have wins in King of the Hill, but think of the more decisive games that they have. You know, I remember the 4-1 one-score line. Now 3-0, what could be a 4-0 if they play their cards right. Their more decisive wins have been on King of the Hill, and I don't think that's a coincidence. PAYD seemed like a very strong King of the Hill roster.
Oh, absolutely. This is a team that likes to run and gun, get boots in hill, and just constantly take these engagements and bait switches. It's also players that do a really good job backing down and just valuing their lives as well. You can see how they're playing this angle. Yaxon and Descendant here, waiting for somebody to peek. They know they don't have to move. They're capping this hill and they're in good position. Not only that, but if they do go down, this may be AB's time to actually put one hill on the board.
Close to it. Descendant willing to make a play to try to get in there, just a split second too late. Ascending baseline with their first hill. Super CC with his first triple kill that we've seen on stream. Beautifully played, Super CC. 3-1 to the scored line for PAYD.
Yeah, that's going to help ascending baseline try to get some early scoring time. Again, you do have Suspector get cleaned up over towards jail, but with tapping button and the shock rifle, finds himself 2 kills and will completely shut down any push here from PAYD.
Wow. Once again, ascending baseline. I mean, you were down 0-3, but your first hill was a beautiful one, and now you're looking to build off of that momentum that clearly you gained and gained quickly. You're about 80% done with this hill, and PAYD are nowhere to be found at this point. Ascending baseline, I wonder they were questioning whether PAYD were going to punt it and just give it to them at that point.
Yeah, it looks like they do elect to try to contest this and probably go for the capture as well. Like I said, this bottom middle hill, it could be very difficult to break, especially when players have different utility and shock and things like that here. You can see the push comes in. They clean out elbow very quickly, but they lose hill. Ryan and tapping buttons got into it and actually go ahead and lock this one down. So Acid maybe should have played towards hill a little bit more, but at the same time, maybe they just wanted to get that one over with. Play top middle.
One more cap needed here for PAYD. Yaxon holding things down over towards his blue tower side. And it's such an important position, and Ryan understands that, so that's the first player that he gets out and turns that into a double. Once again, ascending baseline, scoring, and 3 in a row doesn't seem too far-fetched the way that ascending baseline are playing right now.
If Ryan can live here, I think this is going to look really good for them. Does walk in, finds himself 1, gets shot in the back. I don't think he can find this other player. He's a little bit too far out. Already on the rotate here towards hill. Big fight towards top middle. Ryan Noob does win that one. It's a 3v3 scenario, but tapping gets himself a perfect onto Descendant. As long as they clear out one of these towers, I mean, there's a lot of game clock left to play here, Tony.
That it is. Ryan Noob holding down the red side of the map. Super CC quickly there for the cleanups, but there's more members of PAYD looking to force him right out and not able to get the kill just yet, but down to 1 shot, and that nade lands perfectly home. Once again, PAYD so close to ending this one, and once and for all, 3 down, go ascending baseline. And I'm not sure there's anybody ready to fight, as everybody who gets an angle somehow is shredded, except for Ryan Noob himself, who finds it over towards the red tower, finds the double, but there's just too many players you got to deal with.
Oh my goodness, I was so close. They were able to clear out the hill, but there were 2 players towards top middle, but nobody was standing in the hill, and Acid quickly jumped in and got that final second. I'm not sure they would have been able to live and kill him even if they did have feet in the hill, but that one definitely kind of almost felt like he got snuck away right towards the end. Ascending baseline making a valiant effort on that comeback, found themselves in a tough position right from the start of the game. You can see here. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, and I was gonna say, once again, I was saying we sound like a broken record, but look who's leading Slays, and not only just his team, but the entire lobby. It's Acid himself, man.
With the game-winning play, also.
And PAYD up 6-2 here, and depending on how many games we have in our series, you know, at some point we're gonna start talking about being in territory of being mathematically impossible for ascending baseline to win the money, and ultimately just playing for practice, which is what they were going to do anyways. Most likely, they probably would have played 13 games, maybe even 16 games regardless. But you know, you definitely want to be in the money.
Yeah, that'll feel good here for PAYD if they're able to lock this one in. As like you said, we are getting very close. Players did elect to play a handful of these Team Slayer matches, which, like we said, a lot of times in the past we have skipped, but even like we also mentioned, Tony, last time we did this, went all the way to 15.
Oh, gonna find out if maybe the same could happen here. Ascending baseline, obviously not out of it just yet. It could really make it competitive for the 2 lead in favor of them at the moment, tapping buttons with the Stalker, and he wants to catch up over towards Ryan Noob, who is fighting multiple players at the same time while trying to get a hold of the camouflage. Gets it, uses it, but ends up dying with it. Camouflage off the map for ascending baseline.
Still very mixy scenarios here. Super CC gets cleaned up, but he's 4-2 to open up this one. Very hot start from him. Looks like Camo was removed from the equation already. Piggy, he found himself the Magnum, or the pistol here, trying to play a sneaky angle, but it looks like most of the aggression, if not all, from AB is coming towards B's side, trying to clean out PD and towards back A. Acid grabs himself 2, though, with Super CC trying to find a trade. Will get 1, but that push did not go in their favor.
Although you end up taking down 1, you end up going 4 down in order to do it. So clearly PAYD winning that engagement and winning it well, tapping buttons from down range, rips Acid, and Jackson comes in for the cleanup and a fight over on the red room.
Piggy now looking for some of these kills over towards ATM, finds Super CC in an engagement, but does decide to back down. Looks like Acid and the rest of the crew pushing over towards Cafe. Big engagements going down, but between the 2 of them, Jackson cleans that up. 2 left, and they're both over here towards B side now for ascending baseline. Couple kills come in from Descendant here, and the rest of the aggression from Piggy looking for a cleanup. Looks like Rhino does know he's there, but too much damage to unfortunately make a trade. With Camo coming up in 20 seconds, though, 3-kill lead. This could be expanded greatly if Piggy can stay alive here.
Yeah, despite how clean PAYD have looked so far, it is only a 3-kill game, so ascending baseline clearly in it, and with plays like that, and Suspector getting kills, they can find themselves within striking distance, and Suspector's not holding back whatsoever. He's grinding forward, finds his way over towards Jackson. Jackson finds the kill from across the map. Not done just yet. Piggy takes the 1v1 versus Ryan Noob, and 4 down, go ascending baseline. That's a camouflage that they are going to desperately miss.
Yeah, it was a 3-kill game, but it's moved up a few here. Descendant and the rest of PAYD starting to sniff out these players with Camo and Stalker in hand, though Descendant should be able to be the MVP kind of impact player in this moment. Definitely not wasting any time as he moves around the map, looking to get some damage and trades here. You just got to keep in mind how small these maps really are when the rest of your teammates are blocking some of the spawns involved. Descendant does find a few, has a no shields Ryan Noob that picks up the kill though. That should keep Ascending baseline here, at least in a potential to get back into this one.
This game simply was neck and neck until PAYD for a little bit of separation in the scoreboard. Finally, Ascending baseline looking to claw their way back into that lead, or back to that 7 or 8 kill lead, but Ascending baseline simply right on their tail, keeping it within 5, make it 4, one squad wipe away from tying things up. Ascending baseline are not letting go.
Yeah, they can smell blood in the water to get back into this one with players trapped over towards B. They're trying to make a coordinated push. Nice shots by tapping with grenades, forces these players out from Red Room. Super CC almost makes the Royal 2 pillar dance play to come away with that one, but Delta ultimately gets cleaned up, but we are still within 3.
Tapping Buns hunting down another one. He has the reinforcements with them, but ends up finding himself right into the line of sight of Jackson, who gets cleaned up almost immediately, and both teams just going at it over on the mid-map in a close battle. Leads to another fight. Ryan Noob not able to get the kill despite having the repulse. Acid is going to love having that on his utility belt.
Yeah, Ryan Noob wants to take the nade repulse kind of advantage play if he could, but a repulse comes in and completely avoids any damage from that grenade. 4-kill game now. Ryan Noob, however, does come away with Stalker Rifle, but gets cleaned up through some of his own tricks. Super CC doing what he can. Does pick up a beautiful 3-shot perfect with that Stalker. Try to keep them in this game. 4 kills. Camo up in 5 seconds. Whoever gets this one may be able to walk away with the win.
41-38 is the score line at the moment, but Ryan Noob getting away with this camouflage could be huge, as PAYD have been able to keep it away from them for too long. Now the game slows down just a bit. Ryan Noob softens up Jackson, but nobody able to activate through that. And a lot of space being played with PAYD, despite having the camouflage in the hands of Ryan Noob. Suspector somehow finds a backsmack. Super CC turns that into 2, 3, go down, and Piggy, the final player alive, could be Ascending baseline, taking the lead right here, right now.
Just clinical plays out of Ascending baseline as Ryan Noob and crew pick PAYD apart to not only come back in this game, but actually take the lead. But we do find ourselves tied up once again. Ryan Noob get the calls out, getting the call outs of where some of these players are, but gets picked apart from some of the spawners. Expect this one to slow down momentarily, but I do like PAYD's position a little bit better, and they have a 1-kill lead.
Jackson finds an angle on Super CC. Big damage onto him, 49 kill, and man, the 50th before he's able to turn the corner, and PAYD make the series 7-2 so far. Ascending baseline, you've come close time and time again, but you can't seem to clutch out a win in anything that isn't named Capture the Flag.
It does appear that way at the moment, Tony, here. And, you know, it was essentially tied 40-40 when Ryan Noob walked away with that camo, and they came out with a full round of slays to take the lead in that game. But once they hit 46, it slowed down a lot for them. And I think, you know, they didn't have the angles that they wanted. They kind of got trapped towards A and just collapsed upon. And once again, another 50-48 Slayer, but in favor of PAYD once again.
And the one thing I'm thinking about here is, like, you know, it's a fun scrim. You know, it's great. I love it. But one thing that kind of is running through my mind right now is it's online. And the one thing that I really, really want to see is more land gameplay, especially on the side of Acid. Like, Acid tweeted out during Atlanta that, like, sad, I don't know, the sad meme of, like, Squidward looking out the window, seeing SpongeBob and Patrick running and having fun. Like, he sees all of his friends were having fun over in Atlanta, but he didn't go, he didn't compete. And I feel like he really wanted to show what he could do on land. I think he wants to continue to do so. So that's one thing that's kind of running through my head right now, is like, whatever is the next land, you know that Acid wants to be a part of it, because look at what he's able to do even online. It could be even better.
Oh, absolutely. Here, as he finds himself the sniper rifle to open up this game with 3 dead. Suspector, last player alive, right in front of him towards C Plat. Was in fact no shields. Gets his shields back and gets the stick onto Acid. Great heads-up play from one of the other top fraggers that we've seen on AB all night here, and that's the Spectre. Gets the camo, gets the kill, now walks away with new snipe.
2 bullets to work with here for Spectre. Ball being rotated now by tapping buttons. See Acid finding his way over on the sandbag side. He feels like a very important piece to this puzzle as he gets aggressive, forces Spectre into a non-advantageous position, and his Spectre goes down because of that. So PAYD, although down in points in the early game, they do get themselves the ball, and I believe they have the QT and every other resource, but Piggy has a sniper, and apparently that's all he needs.
He's got a sniper, he has a stick in his back pocket, walks away with 2 kills. He also had Acid take out Spectre, who had that camo snipe to open up the game. He definitely wanted to see a bigger chunk of time accumulated for AB here in this oddball game. Nonetheless, though, it is PAYD and Descendant who get the ball, get the early lead now, and look to probably just play this or play for a reset, but looks like the rest of Ascending Baseline actually is a little bit far back. It will allow PAYD to milk even more time here.
30-12 so far is the score line. Early in this oddball, anything can happen, and what really matters when those seconds start to turn to minutes, and when Super CC starts shooting like that, the shots start to turn to 5s, and Ascending Baseline looking to catch up.
Rhino doing what he can. He's got a couple players here in A. Tries to play for an insta-splode, but a rare missed insta-splode kind of play, I think, for Rhino, and that'll allow Acid and the rest of the crew to push out towards B, completely take over this side of the map, and walk away with that new QT.
Ascending Baseline take the lead here. Acid finds a great entry point and no play ball. Oh, cow, how devastating is that?
Yeah, that one hurts. I think it's hard to kind of break down what just happened in that play. I think Super CC was expecting somebody to push top tower when you had Acid just rotate up through mud immediately, and yeah, you would have loved to see that ball go off the map, but instead now PAYD just immediately with that getting time once again.
48 points so far here for PAYD, and Descendant still has that camouflage and is trying to get out of dodge, and looks like he's able to do so. Big damage goes in, assist hits the board, and he knows now that the S7 could be his if he wins one fight against tapping buttons, and man, does he win it.
Yeah, you could see he had no intention of grabbing that ball. He had camo, he knew Sniper was getting ready to spawn, and he had one thing on his mind. As he gets that kill onto tapping buttons, he gets another body shot onto tapping buttons off spawn, and Super CC trying to push across top mid. That should help them get some time, but the kills ultimately don't come in. Takes the time to get the shot onto the frag nade. Not sure if he found any damage on it. But nonetheless, he gets taken out, trades back and forth. Ryanoob and Piggy are the last 2 players alive. It looks like they may contest each other right here.
I saw a hit mark. I think he did get some damage on that one. That's really creative. You don't have the angle with the sniper. He's hiding behind the pillar. He's not going to show himself, so remote detonate. Very rarely do you see a sniper bullet for a remote detonation, but in that case, I think it might have been a little bit worth it, as sniper does end up in the hands of the Spectre, and he's not looking to shoot any nades, looking to shoot bodies and maybe some heads.
Yeah, it looks like AB starting to cut back into this lead once again, only down by 20 points. Spectre also with the sniper, not a whole lot of ammo to work with, but enough to take out PAYD here if he finds anyone here.
Well, headshot just yet, 72 points now for PAYD, and Spectre clearly feeling the pressure. He can't sit back over toward the mid side. He has to be aggressive, and he's gonna attack the perimeter from the left hand side. I love that play. Even the repulse was enough to avoid that line of sight, but how do PAYD react? They immediately rotate the ball over on the green side and away from the push from Ascending Baseline. They have to fight. They're willing to fight. That's a dub. Wants to trip. The players over on the back green side, but you're about to be surrounded here by the final players from PAYD, and Piggy comes in with the kill. He wants more.
Yeah, and even with all those kills and damage, they do take the ball and force a play ball, but, you know, they're out of sniper ammo. They might kick camo, but looking more than likely that they're going to lose it here. As I say that, though, Spectre gets it and gets away, so we'll see AB. They need a big hold.
80 points so far for PAYD. The final 20 could be the hardest to come by, but with the nice little buffer over ascending baseline, you really can focus on your slays. That clearly is the game plan for PAYD. Ryan Noob on the ball, trying to rotate it over on the dummy side. Ends up changing his focus to the fight to clean up the player that was Piggy, and Suspector now on the ball, ascending baseline, scoring a double push coming out of PAYD, but ascending baseline navigated perfectly. Ascending baseline could be getting a nice little comeback here, especially because every single slay is going their way.
Yeah, minute 40 left in the game. They're down by less than 30 points now as they're accumulating, or still accumulating points here at the moment. We'll see. You got Acid and Piggy at 15 apiece, Suspector at 13, so the slay's heavily in favor of PAYD. But like we've said so many times before, and now this series has demonstrated, rarely is it about how you start, but how you finish. And the Suspector with the sniper, not able to get away with that. There's only going to be one opportunity to push here now for ascending baseline, with only 15 points left for PAYD to close out round number 1.
Dangerous need out of Ryan Noob earlier, and some big time damage out of PAYD and Descendant. Jeez, 13-9 is your score line, but let me tell you, that double put the exclamation point on that sentence, and PAYD looking to put their 8th win on the board.
Oh yeah, they've had a lot of nice exclamation point games here and rounds. We've seen Acid, Descendant, even some of the members of AB just go huge in some of these plays to completely take over or close out a game, but another great play by Descendant to close that.
Ryan went on a crazy route today. I think he played from the pillars to the white wall, saw nobody, and just immediately backsmacked the player right off the rip. It's got a crazy route coming out of him, but if you give him the route, he's going to take it. And right now, it's a steady baseline in the early points. Acid with the early snipes. 3 down, go AB, and Piggy was the only player on that side of the map, but it's ultimately a steady baseline that just can't score anymore. Everybody's dead.
And how Acid and Descendant both been extremely hot with the sniper. Acid coming away with a disgusting headshot on the tapping buttons. Just goes ahead and drops the sniper over to Descendant here. We'll see how he's able to put this one to use as he connects on the first shot. Player was no shields though. Does connect. Double assist. Did he just double snipe him?
Oh, I didn't even see that if he did. Maybe the repost and not able to do enough damage.
Yeah, not sure if he did or not, but nonetheless here, finally PAYD, starting to score again. Still has camo, still has some time to work with. As I say that, it expires here.
Barely a lead here for ascending baseline, and what's most important is those round of slays, and right now PAYD are getting them. That's a squad wipe. Suspector, the first one to spawn, but PAYD, the first one to get ball time in that engagement.
Yeah, definitely a very mixy scenario. Sniper repulse and camo involved, especially for Descendant, but he lives the whole time, gets multiple kills, and gets away with that ball. It's going to give 20 points over here to PAYD, and Descendant, rather than kind of holding this ball towards tower, it looks like the rest of the crew calls for the rotation, and not just a rotation to hold, but just a drop and fight. You see 2 go down for PAYD, whether or not they'll be able to walk away with the trade, any trades here.
18 points here for PAYD and barely a lead. One to descending baseline, looking to eat away at, and more importantly, take an early lead here. But what really matters is one getting a clean round of slays and turning it into 2. Right now, both teams just kind of inching in points, but with multiple going down for ascending baseline, this could finally be the opening that PAYD have been looking for.
Yeah, you can just see it's definitely overall slays in the game heavily in favor of PAYD. They've been able to kind of force the pace that they've wanted, and keep the ball where they've wanted, and definitely control most of the weapons, I'd say, for this game also.
There it is. A little bit of a trade there. Another 1v2 ascending baseline using numbers in order to get the advantage onto PAYD. And with that, that's the 3 down they're looking for. That Super CC now with the snipe. Tapping Buttons takes that fight. I don't know if he really had to, but the way Piggy's playing, it takes 3 to take him down.
Ooh, nice repulse play by Super CC. Actually gets the stick with that plasma as well. 3 dead for PAYD. And just like that, AB right back into this game. Goes through the shot, but hits the plasma. Nice no-scope as well. 2 dead for PAYD. This should, yeah, lead change for AB, and definitely PAYD having to rethink how they're going to approach this push.
Ascending baseline with the setup, and right now it is being held, and largely because Super CC is sniping the way that he is. The rotation now over on the green side as the setup moves. Somehow it's being held. Killing spree, but ended immediately. And Suspector might have just broke some ankles with the movement, and a creative way to take the fight. And I think he even made Acid nade himself.
Yeah, I think he broke some ankles, forced the player to take himself out. And walks away with the QT. The accident gets the sniper. Does get cleaned up by, once again, none other than Suspector, who's on a tear himself right now. 3 dead for PAYD. Last player's alive coming over here towards C. It looks like a ball rotation comes in once again, but that ball carrier's no shields. PAYD may try to push this very aggressively. Can Suspector and the rest of their crew hold this one?
25 and 17 is Suspector. Meanwhile, Super CC gonna try to turn this into a flank. That's a great nade that lands right at the face of Piggy. Acid, though, not wasting any time whatsoever jumping on that ball, and that's exactly where Ascending Baseline want him as another player goes down, tapping buns early on, and in Yaxon, he's early on him.
Tapping and Super CC go down, but a flank from Suspector will clean up these players towards C. With camo spawning, Acid will secure that. I'd like to see Ascending Baseline, though, go for the ball. They should be able to hold off camo player if they can get into any kind of positioning here. With Suspector dropping, though, it looks like Tapping and the rest of the crew will be able to will be forced to play this ball.
77 to 34. Ball hits the battlefield, and Jackson once again early on the time, objective efficient, slaying at the same time as they rotate this ball right now are paid. They're gonna need a lot more plays like that, and even more out of Acid. Double. Ryan Noob not gonna be part of yet another triple out of Acid.
Yeah, Acid does get cleaned up here. Still a lot of time to make up for PAYD as they find themselves down by only 20, but Sniper getting ready to spawn. It is looking like it may favor Ascending Baseline, but as I say that, 2 members forced to drop down bottom middle. Rhinoop's trying to keep these players away, but Acid is going to be able to escape with the Sniper.
I don't know if his escape is the right word, because he's not looking to get away from anybody. He's looking to take people's head off. He's aggressive with it, and you see why. Acid, deadly accurate. The man just doesn't miss.
Yeah, he's been on point all day here today. Now keep in mind, Ascending Baseline has the lead, but they're down in rounds as it was PAYD that took round number 1 here in this game. Ball is over towards PAYD. Tapping buns, goes for the play ball, does get it. Hits the sniper shot as well, but still pretty mixy scenario here for both teams.
Close game so far. PAYD, they're the ones up 1-0, so a steal here would be yet another game that goes their way, and so far this entire series have been literally doing just that. Acid finds the one-shot, deals with them right with the final player alive, and once again PAYD on the ball. Early setup, less than a minute left of neutral time.
Yeah, less than a minute left to play. Only 1 to 2, general holds here for both teams to close out this game as well. It might come down to the wire here. Can Ascending Baseline send this to round number 3? Trying to make this series score a little bit closer than it is as we see this game now tied up.
And has to play the ball right at the tide bar. Probably would have loved to get at least a couple second lead on that one, but man, Ascending Baseline was just too quick on the attack, and now these battles matter more than you think. And that's Ascending Baseline, the one that go 3 down. That means PAYD are now rotating this ball, and it's Ascending Baseline in a must-break situation. It's either you get on the offense or you're going down for the 8th time this series.
Yeah, and I don't know if Rhino could have influenced any of the spawns there, but I think it... Wait, they dropped the ball? They got the ball? And they got the round. And the game. Another game, though, Tony. Right down to the wire. You could tell how mixy it was. I don't know if Rhino could have had any opportunity to try to contest that ball carrier a little bit harder, but as soon as Descendant got that ball towards dummies and ultimately back tower, the rest of ascending baseline coming out of spawn towards A, I mean, it takes more than 10 seconds to break a setup and get through, get across the map here. So, just only so much you can do at that point.
Oh yeah, I'd imagine. What, 10 seconds to get off a spawn alone, and then what? I mean, maybe we're talking like in order to get a good push in, I would imagine 20 to 25 seconds to get an optimal push, and it was just time that just wasn't a commodity that they had. Meanwhile, you know what a commodity that Paid has is stacking slays, both Piggy and Acid with 34 kills apiece, both of them with 11 assists, and three members of this Paid roster with a double digit KDA. And that is what you want to see out of Paid. Just pure damage, pure aggression, and them taking advantage of it.
Yeah, you can see, like we talked about, it got brought up a few times here with Acid. How does this team play? Like, what role? How is everyone going to evolve? Well, that's a game where you're seeing Piggy now being a top frag for his team. And I think it also gives him like the ability to be a lot more comfortable in the role he wants to play and how he wants to approach the map. When you've got players like Descendant and Acid in front of you, who have such high pivotal piv rates and just ability to just win all these different engagements no matter what the scenario is here. So no surprise that they're able to take that one. I think a couple of these rounds once again closer. Love to see ascending baseline. Look over maybe some of the endings of these games because they could have definitely gone differently more than once at this point here.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it. Obviously, the scored line is very much in favor of Pain. I don't think anybody's arguing that. But I think if you haven't been paying attention to the series from start to finish, I don't think you understand how close most of these games have been. Like, I could think of maybe two outliers where Paid looked fairly dominant. But outside of those, I feel like they've just been very close games. And one that ascending baseline are simply right there. So sending baseline, we have to figure out a way to find some wins outside of capture the flag, and that was a close oddball that feels like was right in your hands, at least for that round number 2.
Yeah, and you could always take a look at Halo Data Hive as well and kind of see how they've evolved. It is Acid who's been on top frag. He's definitely head and shoulders at this point above the rest of the competition as far as slays go. And I think one interesting thing though is damage wise, you do have the rest or some of the people kind of right there neck and neck with him. So it is, a lot more than kills like we talked about. Who's the top frag each of these games? Well, that player might be very forward progressed on the map, kind of cleaning up a lot of kills, but you can see there's players who without as many kills or assists, but still right there neck and neck on the damage column. That kind of says or a little bit onto like what kind of kills you're getting at the same time.
Yeah, and mind you, I don't have the stats in front of me. I know you do, but if there's one player that I feel like is probably out at the damage that he's at, or maybe even more than it's probably Piggy, because Piggy, I feel like I know the kills haven't been there consistently, but I remember a lot of games where he's dropping like almost like 20 and 20. Like he has like 20 kills, 20 assists. And I'm like, bro, what? Like, I feel like if there's any player that's probably right there with him, it's probably Piggy. And again, maybe not the kills, but the assist matter.
Oh, 100%. And I almost go to argue that like a team like assists might be more important in some regards just because, if you have a game where one team just has, 20 more assists than the other team, there's a good chance that they won that game as well. You just constant damage output and, what happens when numbers get staggered and just how quickly you can kill someone with two people shooting at them. Obviously, it's like twice as fast. So yeah, definitely a lot of factors that come in where if you're just consistently getting lots of more assists than the enemy team, you're probably for the most part, winning a lot of the games as well.
I just opened up Halo Data Hive, and Piggy actually has a 154 kills to 211 for Acid, 123 assists, and actually he does have more damage, most damage in the lobby. So yeah, I'm telling you, man, the kills and assists, it's deadly. Actually, it's crazy. That's crazy that Piggy has more damage in this game.
Yeah, because we've seen Acid just completely frying tons of triple kills, but like a triple kill on 3 weak people is not a lot of damage, right? Getting 3 people no shields is a lot more damage than 3 one-shots, triple kills, but it's not going to reflect, obviously, or it gets reflected exactly that 3 kills versus 3 assists, but damage goes in favor of assists.
And looks like we're players maybe having a little bit of a break here, and it's been an exciting one, but it's also been a long one. I mean, how many games are we in? We're in probably like almost almost 11, 10
10
games
in,
so
yeah.
far, and so I would imagine it's probably a well-deserved break out of these guys. They're going to continue to go to war so far. Again, guys, this is your straight ripping pro scrim night. I apologize. Ascending baseline going up against our paid roster, and you have Acid Descendant pick. Is their name Paid? Because bro, I'm gonna freak out. It's like a Beps thing. Is it like Piggy's the P? Acid is the A, and then Yax is the Y, and Descendant. I was thinking to myself, like,
I didn't
Paid
realize
is
that
a
at first
dope
either.
name. Just I'm like, yo, they're getting paid, and I didn't realize that. Yeah, that's hilarious. I'm so sorry. I just caught that like live.
That's good. That's good.
I feel like an idiot. That is too funny.
I do see that. I was wondering that as well. I did not catch that at first. Details, Tony. Always got to pay attention to the details.
I only saw because as I looked at their names like on Halo Data Hive, like, and I saw them together, and like my dyslexia kicked in, like rearranged them. Then I was like, "Yo, what?" Fun fact: a lot of people don't know that why not is actually just Tony spelled backwards. Like that's all. Like people are like, "Yo, how did you get your name?" I'm like, "It's just Tony spelled backwards." That's all it is. I often forgot my name, so I had to remind them.
Yeah, luckily we experienced that a lot in early Xbox Live days with just backwards name anything when people had to come up with accounts and things like that too. So I was somewhat familiar with it. I did know the why not and Tony backwards thing. But I did not catch the paid thing at first. But hey, we learn something new every day.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I was thinking Uslaw Walshy backwards.
Yep.
We had a few of them. I'm trying to think like what. So we've had some good gamer tags like in our day. I'm trying to think what are some of the best gamer tags that are in the game right now. I'm looking. Tapping Buns is up there. I think Tapping Buns is up there. Precision's up there for me too. I think that's pretty dope. I'm not now. I'm trying to think of. Hey, yo, Chad, help me out with this, Chad. What are some of the best gamer tags that we've had in Halo? You can go current. We can even go past players as well. Elamite is a good one. Elamite's a good one.
Elamite's ancient people. It's like a real thing. But
Descendant. I don't even know what Descendant even means. I even like Carmea better. Yeah. I thought Carmea was better. Piggy is
like
not
a
the
Dead
best.
Zone Penguin scenario. I like Penguin more the whole time.
Oh, all right. Well, it looks like actually the game getting started here, and is that a triple to start? A triple to start things off. You know what? Get me in the listening. Get me in the comms. These dudes are playing too good.
Maybe Muller, maybe? I don't know.
check ball.
Wait, RS2, RS2. Our RS2, you play through runway. These are cuts, our cuts.
Yeah, somebody's got to come back.
I have the cuts, guy.
Jason, run at him. Someone run at him.
It's our
He's our
flag.
left, our left.
He's our cuts. It's just
Cuts, one shot.
fucking weird.
Sort of weak.
He's our cut box, so.
Yeah, he's on the box, I can't get him.
Look at him. Nice.
Being too long.
I'm going long with you.
Yo, there's sword.
Cuts.
Why don't you just.
What shot? Dude, oh my god. Inside green. Or inside
I
sword.
don't see shit.
On me,
Muller,
Muller.
what?
Yo,
One
two
more
guys low.
green
I'll
full
drop
shield,
it.
bro.
I'll drop it on you. I'll drop it on you.
Yeah, he's
Needle pit.
on pit, needle pit. Nice, bro.
I'm coming to you, Xavier. Or
Watch out,
I'm coming to
sword.
you,
2 sword. That's 2 sword.
Oh, I'm almost here.
Spawner is.
They're front.
Not playing, not playing.
He's going cuts, he's going
Go our
cuts.
training, our training.
Cuts on you.
Putting
I'm
pressure
seeing-
on him, bro.
I think he's under you
Our
guys.
sword, he's our sword, bro. Should
How's
try.
exit? I'm gonna throw it in.
One sword,
First
one
one.
tower,
One
bro.
shot training. What?
Sword dead.
In sword. Or green, in green.
Our tower run.
Shooting me.
Green.
Running.
You're
Training.
getting fucked up, bro.
Training.
He killed me, bro. Fuck you.
Green one shot. No, one shot our green in the green hole. Gonna go back to their side a bit. He could double. Yeah, he's our green.
Yep. Green one shot.
Green.
Got me.
Nice, good trade. Good trade.
Dude, one shot there, S1. Dead.
Nice.
Let's flag. He's there. Green.
I got
The green popped me 2 shots going for flag.
Yeah, he's probably gonna get it.
Oh my god. Flag gets one shot. Flag dead. Another one on it. They got it there.
Yeah, I'm trying to live. OS Rockets, guys. Gonna beat their green. Look at me. I'm on tire chase.
There's me one hitting through training. Is quite left.
Remember.
Yeah,
Needles
Mauler. And Needles. Mauler, Needles. Shots on Mauler. Watch out, Piggy. Absolute. 2 1 shots. Needles and Mauler. Needles 1 shot still.
Look, Needles. Mauler weak.
Dude,
2 on
one
us.
shot.
2 on us.
Nice, then.
2-0 start coming in out of paid right now, and we keep saying it. They're looking to get paid. Multiple hit the black screen here for sending baseline descendant, not waste any time whatsoever running this flag, but also right into at least 2 spawners of ascending baseline. Uses that overshield in order to take one down and looking for that final cap right now. Clearly are paid.
Definitely been all paid in this one so far here as we see new snipers coming up. We're only 3 minutes into the game at that 9-minute mark, and already we've seen what Payd's been able to do, grabbing those 2 early caps. Now Ryan Noob with the new sniper rifle. We'll see how they'll be able to answer back. Tapping Buttons has one also, so in order to get back into the game, this is exactly what they need. Nice shot by Ryan Noob. Buys himself an opportunity to keep this situation alive here for ascending baseline. Flag still moving, but taking quite a long time. Descendant, I think, gets the sniper and just connecting on shots all over the place here.
Yeah, that's actually insane. A high sensitivity about a Descendant to be able to connect with that shot before you even see him, like even have his head poked out. But it is ascending baseline that are able to cap a flag and put us back within 1. And Acid, look at the double up on this snipe ammo. I guess double is not really the word. It was 2 bullets. He added 1.
Almost a double up. Just one away, Teddy. As you can see, though, flag gets pulled here for ascending baseline, but the map is split opposite of the way we start. Players traded each other's bases. Acid, with 1 shot left in the sniper, does find Tapping Buttons, who is hiding out below him. That is going to be a potential opportunity for Payd to try to start moving this map, or this flag across the map here as the big engagement's going on right here towards green box, and sure enough, Payd does walk away with 2.
Flag still moving here. Rhino being a sneaky snake over on the Mauler side and tapping Buttons right through the front door as Acid does take him down. Rhino, the final player you have to deal with, and the numbers, the bodies are going to be too much. And rotating this flag in, it was tough. Acid goes down, but it is not enough. 3-1 is the score line. Payd continue to stack up not only the bread, but also the wins.
Yeah, 9-2 now. Overall series or scrim score now for Payd. Just having a great go of it. Lots of close games, like we mentioned. That one, even had moments and close at times with the opportunities to be battled back. But, Acid and Descendant definitely taking turns. Oh, that was last game too. Okay. But Acid and Descendant taking turns, just really, taking over the games, I'd say. Great plays by everyone in the lobby. I think we talked about everyone having great moments, whether or not it was snipes, decision-making, map movement, and rotations. But at the end of the day, looks like Payd just had ascending baseline's number from the get-go.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, man, it was an exciting one. It was a bunch of very close ones. But one thing that we learned, or maybe more was reassured, that Payd are here. And they are once again, you're talking about Descendant picking Yaxie, once again putting himself in that same conversation of being able to upset many of the best teams in the league. And Acid is joining him. Acid is a phenomenal player. And again, I talked about it before. When you scout a player like Acid and bring him onto a roster this talented, it's not to be a role player. It's not to just go with the flow. It's to be an immediate influence on the actual team and on the map. And I feel like Acid has literally been just that. I mean, how many times we talk about top kills, least deaths, crazy KDAs throughout this entire series, which was 11 games long, by the way, and he was consistent with that. Like I said, there was one game I could think of where he started off a bit slow, and then he even ended that one with almost an overkill. Acid is the real deal, and so is this entire paid roster. They're damn good.
Oh yeah, absolutely amazing plays. Big shout out to Piggy as well. You had, I think, most damage. I'm not sure it was most damage after that game. Might have been able to change a little bit. But yeah, actually, tapping buttons was the most in the scrim, and then yeah, the accent pulled it. Oh no, sorry, that was incorrect. Oh, it's neck and neck though. Piggy did have most damage. Acid was right there with him though. So yeah, big shout out Piggy, who's being an absolute force. I don't think we talked about him enough this scrim. I think we're talking about a little. Not that we didn't mean to, just talking about the other guys a little bit more. Most of the time we're talking about Acid. Every time we go to a screen, he's coming out with a triple kill. Right, so definitely stealing some of the spotlight in that manner here, but by all means, very deserved as well with all the plays he had. I think one that stands out in mind as well is the recharge. I want to say it was oddball, but when he sniped like 3 people, he sniped the far guy, the point blank guy, and then dropped down and like snipes like a guy mid range and just like showcases exactly how he's hitting all of his shots and how he plays these modes.
And the one thing that again I keep thinking about is this was fun. I love the fact that STR8 RIPPIN hosts these pro scrim nights and whatnot. They're absolutely amazing. Put us in the eyes of some of the practice that these players are going through, and get to put on a show. Like I said, we get to cast to do what we love, and it's really fun. But I feel like what matters more than that is tournament play. What matters even more than that is LAN. There's kind of levels to this, and the one thing that I'm thinking of is I've seen all of these players do it at the top stage on LAN. And although Acid has found success in the open bracket, even making it into pool play, I feel like at this level of expectations, I want to see all of these players on LAN, but especially him because he missed out on Atlanta. So either way, a very fun matchup. And I guess, Kyle, do you have any final words for the people at home?
Just appreciate everybody tuning. Oh, well, we'll have an interview with Acid as well, I believe, here. But definitely shout out to everybody tuning in. Always greatly appreciated. And we get to hear, I believe, still hear from one of the champs here in a moment.
Okay, I apologize. I was winding down here, but you know what? Why not? Why not try to get an interview in here? Hopefully, one of them are willing to jump in. That is my bad, and just get to talk to them because again, this is it's a new roster. It's a little bit of an old look to them, but a new roster. And speaking of new, we have the newest player on the block, Acid. How are you doing today, brother?
I'm doing great.
Love that, love that. Yeah, I don't know how much practice you guys have had together. Is this one of your first scrims that you've had with this new roster?
I'm pretty sure it's the first one. Yeah.
The first scrim.
Well, you guys did great. Great performance once again. Wanted to ask you, we talked about you a lot as, kind of one of the more talked or discussed players in the scene at the moment. Does this year feel different for you than any of the previous Halo Infinite years in your own regard, in your own competition?
Not really. Like, I always want to win, so like I don't think something has changed. It's the same mentality.
What, as the opportunities changed?
Oh yeah, opportunities really change. I'm on a really good team, so
Do you think like the rest of the scene and maybe even the community as well? Like, do you think you're? Because I think you are. Like, I feel like, at least from my perspective, I'm also giving you that, which I probably should have much before. But it seems like with all the highlights, the replays, things like that, I think everyone's kind of waking up to just how talented you are.
thank you.
And if you don't mind me asking, like I brought it up a couple of times here, but I don't believe you were at Atlanta. And in fact, I remember you even tweeting the SpongeBob
Oh
meme
yeah.
afterwards. Like, can you talk to me how it felt to not be participating on LAN in Atlanta? Like, it feels like you really wanted to be there.
Yeah, like, oh my god, I was so depressed, bro. Like, I don't know, like I was so depressed. I wanted to be there, like I want to play, I love playing on LAN. Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough, and I mean, and as well, I guess as a competitor, like, does that fuel you at all? Like, when I'm not sure, I'm assuming, whatever this pro league's gonna be, maybe there's a land to that. I think I even heard rumors about that, or obviously, Halo Fest. Does missing out on that land kind of fuel you to really want to come in to the next one and kind of show everybody what you can do once again on this roster?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, we definitely think, or I'm excited to see what your guys' ceiling is. I'd ask the question of where you guys think you could go, but I think that one is self-explanatory as well. What is your guys' preparation going to be like going forward here with this roster?
I mean, we have to play scrims, watch bot, and yeah, work together.
Absolutely, and you know what? You say you didn't want to ask the question, Cal. I'm going to ask the question here. Like I said, when it comes to, you look at all the teams in the league right now, you look at the Shopify Rebellions, the Luminons, and everybody else. Do you put your team in that same conversation? Like, what should we expect out of PAYD when it comes to these tournaments coming up in the rest of the year?
I mean, these guys are fucking nasty at the game, so yeah, I feel like we can beat everybody.
Right.
Love that, love that. I'm sorry, Kyle. Did you have a final question for Acid here? I was
No,
gonna
let
say,
the champ go.
I don't want to
Let him
take
do
up too
his
much of your
thing.
time. You already did a long scrim here. Obviously, congratulations, and everybody's starting to know your name right now, and you are quickly gaining fans. I want you to know that. Obviously, you're playing, so you don't get to look at the chats, but I want you to know that you are quickly gaining fans, and we're all rooting for you, brother.
Man, thank you. It feels great.
You have a good one. Enjoy. And
Thank you.
guys, that was Acid. This is Cal. I'm Tony, and this was another Straight Rippin' Pro Scrim night. And I'm gonna ask it one more time this time. And Kyle, do you have any final words for the people at home?
I mean, obviously, just a big shout out to everybody tuning in once again. We all love Halo. It's the reason we're still playing it right now. It might not be what it was like last year, but I still love it and enjoy it, and that doesn't really matter to me that much either. So appreciate everybody that's still sticking around and grinding it out. Should be streaming again soon as well. So excited to do that and start playing again more also. And always a pleasure to be here with you, Tony. You're one of the best in the business.
That means a lot coming in from the legend himself, Elamite. Thank you so much. With the legendary org Straight Rippin', this is Straight Rippin' Pro Scrim Night. And if you're not done with all the Halo action, because I know you're like, wait, it's only 8:46 p.m. Eastern. I want more Halo. Well, don't worry, we got you covered. Eli X is going to be competing and probably dropping multiple Killionaires. So why don't you show him some love, and we'll send the raid over to him. Have a good night, everybody. Peace.
Peace.